10, even 20 years ago. Feel sharper, more agile, stronger, and mentally on top of your game. How? In addition to fast, proven weight loss for those over 60, Awaken 180 Golden now includes sleep coaching, falling asleep quicker, staying asleep, daily meal plans, yes, simplicity, and most importantly, natural supplements designed to promote brain age and physical age reversal. It's a full reboot to improve your memory, clarity, energy, and yes, weight loss. Awaken 180 Golden isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling incredible on the inside, too. Learn how Golden can turn back the clock for you. There is no better time than now for that reboot. Put more life back in your life with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I hate the fact that the Republican Party is seen among some constituencies as the more populist party. It isn't. When they get power, all they really do is just give more big tax breaks to billionaires. The harder thing Democrats have to do is have a conversation about whether we really want to be a big tent party or whether we want to continue to have a dozen litmus tests. Right now, people don't feel terribly welcome in our party if they don't line up with us on a whole host of social, cultural issues, other hot-button topics like guns, climate. I think we've got to let people in who, have some diverse views, but who want to be part of a party that is actually going to stand up for working people, are actually going to take it to that billionaire and corporate class.
Yeah. I'm sorry to tell my good friend, Chris Murphy, my best friend, Chris Murphy, Senator Chris Murphy, that it doesn't matter what it is that the Democrat Party should do, is supposed to do, or can do, especially here in the state of Connecticut. They won't. They can't. Because after I check the numbers, folks, this Democrat Party in Connecticut is going to stay that way. You want to know why? Because it doesn't matter. They are not interested. They don't give two damns about you, the average folks. They only care about one group of people, and that is the donor class. That's who they care about. That's who they care about. That's where the money is. You see, the average citizen does not finance campaigns. Ask Chris Murphy. He'll tell you. He overwhelmingly won his race. Just happened a couple of weeks ago. He overwhelmingly won. Ask Chris Murphy how much money he pulled into his campaign versus his opponent, Matt Corey. Huh? How much money did Matt Corey have in his campaign? What did he have in his war chest? Matt Corey. Come on. Matt Corey, and by the way, you're always welcome to come in here, but you can tell us yourself. What was it, $200,000? How many millions did Chris Murphy have to work with in his campaign? Huh? Was it in the tens of millions? You're damn right it was. You're damn right it was. So there's a lot of lip service going on. Talking about what Democrats need to do. They need to be the party of the working class. Well, how can you be? You can't do both. You can't be the party of the working class while you're collecting millions of dollars for your campaigns. You better toe the line. This isn't about whether or not you convince people in the Democrat Party that you care about them by having arguments about, social issues. And by the way, why does Chris Murphy think that the core issues inside the Democrat Party that people are arguing about is guns and climate and not transgender, LGBTQ, abortion? Those things are the conversations that you need to be having. Those are the things you said that were important. You're not even mentioning them. There's no mention of that. What's this party's stance on LGBTQ issues? What's their stance? Other than the usual nonsense that they say, we care about everyone no matter what stripe they come from, no matter what sexual orientation they come from. Okay, how do you feel about transgenderism being taught in public schools? How do you feel about books inside of libraries of 12-year-old children, 10-year-old children, 8-year-old children? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the activist class in the LGBTQ community demanding those things inside the school system? Huh? A clandestine operation to, I don't know, gayify your children? Because that's what it is. Like it or not, they admit it. They openly admit it. They have choirs dedicated to it. We are here to indoctrinate your children is what they say. Go look it up. We played the audio. So is Chris Murphy having a conversation with them? No, the activist class, oh, no. They're the ones that are making sure that you get the donations that you pretty much usher in every one of their policies. The average American or the average citizen that you claim to want to represent now, they don't want any part of that, and they damn sure don't contribute to your campaign to make sure that you do. They don't, because they can't afford to. So how are you going to run a successful campaign against the American people? How are you going to run a successful campaign against normal people in Connecticut? You can't. When I say normal people, that isn't to call everybody else a freak. Just the people who refuse to use common sense, who think that the party is about teaching children gender studies, who believe that there's 72 flavors and 72 genders. The part of the party that believes that a man can get pregnant. What do you do that? What do you do then? Who are you going to pay attention to? Because the donor class is giving you millions of dollars to push that agenda. While the average American, if not your former constituency, it's fair to call it that now, cares about the things that matter to them most. And that is being able to put food on the table for their kids to get a top-notch education without having to break the bank to do so. You can't cater to those things because you have to win. And in order to win, you need money. Now, before I go to the phones, I want to read this. Again, I'm going to curse out Mark Fitch of Connecticut Inside Investigator magazine. I didn't even know. I just looked this up and bow, his article came up first. This was in, when was this? November 6th or even? Mark, you got to give me a call. You and I got to have a conversation. I'm teasing, Mark. I love you, buddy. Connecticut's 2024 political donations by the numbers. He did this article in the Connecticut Inside Investigator. You can read it yourself at insideinvestigator.org. Donations by Connecticut residents to Democrats at the federal level doubled donations to the Republicans during the 2024 election cycle. The vast majority of money coming from Greenwich, according to Open Secrets, although raising more money does not always equate to political victory, for Connecticut's congressional and Senate candidates, this year it did, with incumbents hanging onto their seats in all races. Now again, we're not talking about national, we're talking about local. Connecticut donors pumped up $60 million into Democrat candidates and their super PACs, while only $30 million went toward Republican candidates. In total, Connecticut political donors poured $165 million into campaigns. $165 million. Most of that money, roughly $70 million, came out of Greenwich, followed by Westport. The second highest donors were in Westport, were 7.6 million. I'm going to say it again. 70 million came out of Greenwich. 7.6 million in Westport. In the presidential race, Vice President Kamala Harris saw the most donations from Connecticut by far, totaling 17 million, compared to just 3.5 million for President Donald Trump. That's huge. That's huge. No way you can win the state with that kind of backing. So, of course, she overwhelmingly did. But, like every state, Donald Trump gained ground in a state like Connecticut. So while good old friend Chris Murphy is talking about money, listen to this. Listen again. He's talking about restoring power to the people. But he's not talking about government.
You've tweeted some really interesting thoughts about where Democrats have gone wrong. Where have Democrats gone wrong regarding the working people? People across this country are worried about what they're going to do the next day. Not just inflation, but more broadly about their children and how they're treated by so-called elites.
Yeah, listen, I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do think that we have to be much more transparent and purposeful in the way that we identify who has power, whether it be Wall Street, the billionaires, the drug companies, the insurance companies, and how we're going to take power from them and put it in the hands of regular people.
Take power from the billionaires and put them in the hands of regular people. How do you do that, Chris Murphy? What power do the billionaires have other than with you? Though that's the power that they have because they can buy politicians. Those are your friends. They are your donors. Those are the people that you answer to. This is the reason why you lost the election. This, in fact, is the reason why they consider you catering to the elite and the rich. Now you think that you're going to use that same asset, demonize them, to win power over the people? So, in essence, you're going to capitalize on their dollars while you tell your constituents that the people that you're getting all the money from are the enemy. Hey, if you think that's a working argument, have at it. We'll see how successful you are in 2028 with that plan. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And again, I'm just an average guy. But I don't see how anyone could give up $70 million out of Greenwich and think that they are now going to be the party of the people. And in doing so, telling that same $70 million that you're going to pit the average Joe against them. Some support's got to dry up in that argument. In that debate, someone's got to go, all right, well, I'm not giving you any more money there, Chris. Or I'm not going to give you any more support, Chris. So, again, I'm trying to get people to talk about this. Trying to get people on the show to talk about it. Thankfully, Chris Powell's going to be on the show today at 4:30 to have a discussion about it. He has an article out today in his column that says many Democrats are crazy too and on track to ignorance. I got it. His article is great. I'll post it on my Facebook page so you can get a look at it yourself. But I don't know exactly how they're going to be able to pull this off. But I think Chris is a lone voice on this. I don't think it's happening anywhere else. But let's go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. George in St. Louis, buddy. How are you, sir?
Hi, Reese. The Democrats haven't realized what happened November 5th. People went to the window and opened it, and they said, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. The Democrats haven't realized that they are now a corpse. The party is dead. It is not coming back.
You really don't think so? You don't think there's a shot of like any redemption for them?
No. People were attacked for the last 4 years for the Democrat Party. Mm-hmm. They lost their standards of living. People were going. I mean, they're still $1.2 trillion in credit card debt. Mm-hmm. That's the Democrats that did that.
But the only thing that could, well, hear me out, because I believe this, George. The only thing that could make this beneficial for Democrats, of course, is the failure of this administration. I mean, Donald Trump's got 4 years to really like solidify Republican or conservative leadership in Washington, maybe for another, I want to say 12 years. There's a strong likelihood, right?
Well, let's go back to 2020 about the deception of Biden, who was a brain dead president and an incompetent vice president, and nobody knows where all the money's been going and who's been leading the country for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what the leadership was. All that. Look at this, Reese. Billions of dollars have been stolen from the American public. Climate change, perfect example. They get kickbacks on the construction of wind turbines and solar panels, and they get kickbacks on the electric power, which is 5 times more expensive than coal.
Yeah.
They get kickbacks on
It has been a slush fund, without a doubt.
So all of these hundreds of kickback programs that Democrats have been handing out, this is all going to come out when Elon Musk starts digging into all the waste, all the waste that's been going on.
It's 6 months I cannot wait for, because I know we're not going to get any real reports maybe within the first 100 days, but you're right. I'm very, very excited to hear what that turns out to. George, let me move on. I'm going to get one more in here, all right?
Sure.
Thank you, buddy. Let's go to Tony in Southington. How you doing, Tony? You're on with Reese on the Radio.
I'm doing great, Reese. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
Yeah, I want to tell you 2 irrefutable statements. As you said earlier in the open monologue, Democrats are divisive, demonic, and very manipulative. They use compulsive lies and propaganda narratives and agendas to brainwash, to try to groom anybody who's gullible enough to believe unreality, non-facts in life. And they deserve everything that they're getting. I cannot stand them whatsoever. These are the kind of people why our forefathers put in the Second Amendment to protect us from tyranny and dictatorship of utter stupidity like that. And then number 2,
yes.
I'm telling you, man,
No,
I can't get any more solid than that.
You're 100% right.
Dude, I love everybody, and I want this crap to stop. Number 2, the climate stuff is malarkey. If you watch even the MSM news that happen to lean liberal, when they do little reports occasionally of looking back at how droughts and deluges because of precipitation or non-precipitation is happening, it goes back over 120 years since the records were kept. I mean, come on, man. Why are people living their lives on lying emotions? Let's talk about facts and the drama, come together as Americans and love each other without all this freaking fear-mongering lies.
It's, you know what, Chris? Tony, sorry. Tony, you know what I think the problem is there? I think that what they're concerned about is the end of the status quo. They become so part of the system, they know that it's on the brink of destruction, and they're just fighting for their collective lives. That's all that is.
Yep. And may I get one more thing in
real quick,
please? Okay, yep. I believe the education system, the mayors, and the government should all be sued to death by pushing this brainwashing propaganda that with personal matters that only belong to the parents of these children. Whether you're a teacher or a professor at college, government and the education department has no business in people's sexuality or private lives. That's got to end now. They are scumbags.
Yeah, I hear you, boss. Thank you, Tony. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you. Let's see. I can get Ralph in here real quick. Ralph's in South Carolina. How we doing, buddy?
Just wonderful, Reese. I hope life's treating you well. Just a couple things, though. First of all, this is the United States, correct?
That is.
You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. Is that true?
That is.
Okay, now, these people who do not want to invite relatives over for dinner or family over for dinner because the way they voted, they are the real Nazis.
Nazi's kind of harsh. Isn't that kind of harsh?
Well, Reese, it's a fact. Now, these people, they have a right to vote for who they wanted to vote for.
Right.
Just because you happen to disagree, so what? That doesn't mean you cut them off from family. That's what the Nazis did. That's what they did with the Jews.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I get your meaning. It is a little. I remember in 2016, it was quite prevalent in our news media where younger people were telling their older parents that they couldn't visit their grandchildren because of the election with Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. That it had gotten so bad that families were torn apart. And we're talking pre-COVID, where people were, parents were saying, I can't let my mother and father see our children because it's so politically heated in their families. I can't let you around them.
I mean,
I thought that was crazy.
What happened to America?
I don't know.
What happened to America? You could disagree. You can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I don't look. I think people have taken this stuff really personal, and it's become a part of their identity. But as one person said, that when you replace politics with religion, you get what you get. And I think that's where we are today.
I mean, thank God, my family, we haven't had a problem. If you are a Democrat, fine. If you're a Republican, fine. You vote for this person or that person. The reason I voted, again, I said for Trump, is because of policy, not because of color, not because of gender or anything else.
I know.
And one more thing, you got this idiot from Massachusetts talking about Hegseth not being qualified. She voted for the guy who's the head of the Department of Transportation, didn't know a thing about transportation.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's funny.
She voted for him, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's just playing party politics as usual. Thank you, Rob. Much appreciated, sir. Let's take a break. When we come back, more news, more views. I just got an email from somebody I wanted on the show today, but I think I'm going to have him on Wednesday. I'll tell you about that and a little more about our guest today, Chris Powell, in his article. So stick around. More news, more views. When we return, it's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Hey, retirement income. Are you sure that you're maximizing your retirement income? Get the retirement income checklist from us, absolutely free. Text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. Again, call or text the word checklist to 1-800-705-1232. A checklist to maximize your retirement income.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Isn't it time you thought about an estate plan for your family? Estate planning attorneys help prioritize and carry out personalized asset protection strategies. The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott has served the legal needs of individuals and their small businesses since 1977. Our experienced estate planning team is ready to help. With Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nancy Tanucci approved this ad.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Get a head start on your morning with any size iced coffee in any flavor, like caramel, black, or classic, for just $1.29 during breakfast hours only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
The WTIC News time is 3:30. Lockdown this afternoon for two Connecticut schools. Portland High School and Portland Middle School went into lockdown because of a threat made online.
He makes it actually sound like it's a good thing.
There was a rally in Hartford for immigration rights. The rally held out of concern over President-elect Trump's pledge to conduct mass deportations. On trial in Georgia, Jose Ibarra, the undocumented immigrant accused of killing nursing student Laken Riley. This could go quick, says CBS News legal contributor Caroline Pelosi, since Ibarra waived his rights to a jury trial.
The result of that is a very quick trial here. I would not be surprised if we got through all of the evidence quite quickly and the judge decided. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any bombshell evidence from the defense.
Death silences another Putin critic. Russian ballet dancer Vladimir Sklarov plunged to his death from a building in St. Petersburg after years of calling for an end to the war in Ukraine. Russian authorities call the death an accident. WTIC News Time is now 3:31.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, sun and clouds, a high 65, mainly clear. Tonight, low 40, mostly sunny, breezy. For tomorrow, high 61 and a low 35. And Wednesday, high 56. This is Andy Robb in the WTIC Weather Center.
And with less than a half hour left of trading on Wall Street, the Dow is down 55, while the NASDAQ is way up 127. S&P also up 25. In sports, Monday Night Football is the Houston Texans visiting the Dallas Cowboys. For more, go to WTIC.com. I'm David Shapiro, WTIC 1080 News.
Take a moment and think of one thing you really wanted to do recently, but you didn't because your foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet Store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet arch supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet Store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet Store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet arch supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet Store has been helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet Store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871. Wesley Law Firm.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or...
And 10. Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I'll tell you, folks, the donors matter. They're the only people who matter. To the Democrat Party, especially here in the state. I'm reading this article from the Connecticut Inside Investigators. This is written by our good friend, Mark Fitch, who was just on the show on Friday. And I got some new details about Mark Fitch's article with illegal immigrants going to colleges here. The numbers that I looked up are staggering, and I'll tell you in a minute. I promise. I'll tell you in the next break. But here's a paragraph from Mark Fitch's article. I keep saying Mark Fitch's article, which I just posted on Facebook just now. The only congressional race with the Republican challenger raised the significant amount of funds was former state representative Mike France in his race against incumbent Joe Courtney. France raised $627,000 compared to Courtney's $1.1 million. Chris Murphy raised a war chest of more than $14 million compared to Republican challenger Matt Corey, who raised nearly $200,000. Both Courtney and Murphy won their races. So this is, again, money plays a huge role in this. We all know that. So this idea that for some odd reason the party's going to abandon its donors and play to the working class, it doesn't make sense. If they're going to now take the role of Bernie Sanders, how? How do you do? It's no way you can do that. Just isn't. Bernie Sanders ran a campaign of 2016. What was his thing? $5? He told everybody to just donate $5 to him. And I'll admit, Bernie Sanders, he kind of gave me a little nervous tick against Donald Trump in 2016. To me, there seemed to be a likelihood that it would be the two of them up against each other. Now, for entertainment reasons and political intrigue reasons, I would have loved Bernie Sanders to run against Donald Trump. It would have been nice to see the Democrat Party finally glom onto its socialist ideals. For me, to watch the other surrogates run around promoting democratic socialism would have been fantastic. They would have spent the rest of their life trying to distance themselves from it afterwards, but it was worth a shot. I believe it was the reason why they kneecapped Bernie Sanders. I really do. I mean, people think I'm crazy there, but, Hillary Clinton, I know, everybody else is going to say, no, it was Hillary Clinton's turn. They had to make sure that she was the nominee. She took the L for Barack Obama when it was clearly her race to lose, but we kneecapped her. We told her it was her turn, and we had to get rid of Bernie Sanders. He looked like he was surging. He could take that opportunity from her again. So I understand that. But I'll be honest, Bernie Sanders would have been, for me, that would have told us who we are as a country. Are we embracing socialism or are we free market capitalists? And we never got that chance. We didn't even get that chance this election. Well, Kamala Harris went from being kind of a Bernie bro in 2019 and 2020 and becoming a Donald Trumper, like in a blink of an eye, inexplicably. Oh, no tax on tips. I like that. I'm stealing it. Okay, that was typically Democrat. She just stole it. But yeah, I'm going to steal that. Yeah, we're going to, what else? Build a wall? Yeah, I'm for that. Even though I'm clearly seen on camera saying that, what was it? Down with deportation, up with education. Yeah. Out there, plain as day, shouting with the statue of masculinity, Doug Emhoff. You've all seen that video. I'm still trying to figure out, like, what happened. Anyway. But we're going to have Chris Powell on the show in about, it's a little more than a half an hour. About 45 minutes. He's got a article. It's chrispowellcolumn.com. You can check it out. I think he writes an article, if not, like almost every day. I'll ask him about it. But he's got a headline, Many Democrats Are Crazy Too and On Track to Ignorance. He pretty much raised up, sort of breaks down the Annie Dunleavy story, along with all of the rest of the nonsense that's going on with Democrats since losing the election. And I want to talk to him a little bit about that and a lot about his take on Chris Murphy's new stance on their party trying to be more of a big tent as this, instead of giving litmus tests. Lori says Bernie told the truth in that Kamala will just say whatever it is to get elected. Her core values have really remained unchanged. And yes, without a doubt. She's, I hate when people call her a chameleon. She's just a liar. That's all. She's just a liar. Nobody really cared about just calling her that. There were a lot of people who were pretending that this was a flawless campaign. You remember that? She's running a flawless campaign. For 107 days, it was absolutely flawless. And then you see behind the curtain and you find out it was nothing but a mess. $10 million to Beyonce. Now we find out, oh, Dopra Winfrey. And we call her Dopra Winfrey because of Dopra Winfrey. 2.5 million, it turns out. Go ahead, Dopra. Got up on stage and says, I am here because I care about this country. I care about democracy. Let's give it up for Kamala Harris. Yeah, all of that nonsense. Yeah, 2.5 million. $500,000 to the National Action Network. Our good friend, Al Shifty Sharpton. Oh, man. She ran a flawless campaign. Flawless. And look at Chris Murphy trying to distract with the, we need to be a big tent. I'll tell you what's even crazier. This is the one that really, really got me. Let me see if I can find this piece. Here we go. Sunny hosting Houston Houston. Did you hear this story? This story will blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen. So it turns out the network where the White House gets its news, MSNBC, the network where Kamala Harris got all of her campaign strategy, MSDNC. Well, it's, most important television show on that network, Morning Joke, with Joe and Minka, decided to take a trip down to Mar-a-Lago and to meet with the president-elect Donald J. Trump. And again, in my head, trying to figure out what's going on. What's this change of attitude coming from the most divisive network in cable news? Why did they go down there? Well, Sonny host in Houston, Houston, has an idea. It went something like this.
The bottom line is that America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever. And I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists. But we have to remember that Trump is the guy who ushered in the era of fake news. He is the guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy who attacked 3 black female journalists.
Now, I'm sorry, I got to stop her there. Who were the black journalists? Who were the 3 black journalists that he attacked? Did I miss Donald Trump news about 3 black journalists? Who is she talking about? I'm a little miffed at that. When I heard her say that, I went, there were 3 black journalists that he attacked? How did these people should have been the pillars of our society at this point, right? They didn't get their own network show behind it after Donald Trump attacked them. I mean, even Jim Acosta got his own show after it. How are these people not made celebrities? I missed it. Unless somebody else can tell me in the chat room who these 3 African Americans who have been martyred at the hands of Donald Trump. I don't know. Anyway, she went on.
He's the guy that revoked Jim Acosta's press credentials for asking him a question. And so I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media. And I don't think he can be trusted in the way that other presidents can be trusted. This is an aberration.
So again, look, to me, it feels like Chris Murphy may be on to something. I just don't believe that he's honest about being on to something. I think he's saying a lot of sweet stuff. It's like, hey, talk is really, really cool. I hear you. You sound real sweet there, buddy. But truth be told, you're an agenda-based party right now. And you're always going to be held hostage to it, especially right here in Connecticut. Think I'm kidding. Pick up the Hartford Courant right now. And one of the big articles today in the Hartford Courant is, and you would think somebody would take notice. Article in the Hartford Courant says that there's been a rise of interest and rise in phone calls of people in the state of Connecticut to do what? To get gender-affirming care in the state because of the election of Donald Trump. No one is pulling back. No one's going, hey, let's rethink this. Nope. Everybody's going full bore. We had Mayor Justin Ellicker of New Haven right here on program. What are they planning on doing? J.B. Pritzker in Illinois. Brandon Johnson in Chicago. What are they planning on doing? They're going full on objection to Donald Trump and his presidency and his agenda. So I don't know. Chris Murphy, you may be out on an island here. Maybe. I don't think your party is listening, nor do I think they ever will. They know who they're getting their money from, and their donor class will never allow them to even remotely depart from the agenda. I mean, you look at the news networks, they're losing, they're hemorrhaging dollars, and they're about to hemorrhage actual hosts. But the agenda must and will still stand. They will stand for that agenda at the risk of bankruptcy because that's more important than anything. It also keeps them noble. For them, there's nobility in poverty. But we'll break that down shortly. We'll be back. More news, more views, and, of course, your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm at Big Y, and my son calls to tell me tomorrow's the holiday cookie swap. Then I see the baker putting out these fresh cookies, and she says, 2 dozen of these. Wrap them individually. Done. Nice.
Here's to happy holidays and tasty traditions. Big Y, nicely done.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck, and let's talk about turning back the clock. Really turning it back. Awaken 180 Golden has always been a game changer for weight loss for those 60 and over. But now we're talking age reversal, both body and mind. Feeling like you did 10, even 20 years ago. Feel sharper, more agile, stronger, and mentally on top of your game. How? In addition to fast, proven weight loss for those over 60, Awaken 180 Golden now includes sleep coaching, falling asleep quicker, staying asleep, daily meal plans, yes, simplicity, and most importantly, natural supplements designed to promote brain age and physical age reversal. It's a full reboot to improve your memory, clarity, energy, and yes, weight loss. Awaken 180 Golden isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling incredible on the inside, too. Learn how Awaken 180 Golden can turn back the clock for you. There is no better time than now for that reboot. Put more life back in your life with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Make this a November to remember and buy or lease your new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford. It's the year-end sale at Proterra Subaru Outlet, and you could save hundreds, even thousands over other area Subaru dealers. Brand new Subaru Ascents, lease for only $279 a month. Outbacks for just $249 a month, or get 0% financing for even more savings. Get a brand new Impreza for an incredible $189 a month, or a brand new Crosstrek for a low $259 a month. Over 400 brand new Subarus to choose from, like new Foresters for just $279 a month. And the November special deal is on brand new Subaru Solterras. This month you can lease one for a once-in-a-lifetime lease of just $89 a month. See why people from all over Connecticut buy and lease their new Subaru from Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford. Go to ProterraMotors.com to see all November Subaru specials and our complete inventory of pre-owned vehicles. Proterra Subaru Outlet in Hartford, exit 33 off I-91 at the corner of Weston and Jennings. Call 888-799-1150 for details.
California Psychics was great. Gosh, I got everything I could imagine from my reading.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. In fact, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. So we guarantee your reading isn't life-changing, it's free.
She told me something about my love life that I needed to hear. I do feel better about my relationship from what she told me. I feel like I'm on the right path.
Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20, which means you could soon be taking a romantic stroll down the right path, too. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get $5 off with code Radio5 when you download the app.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. You make me feel good anytime you play some De La Soul. Much more from the Grind Date album. Let's get to Matt in Bristol. How you doing, big guy?
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
Pretty good. What do you got?
So, I was just calling about Sonny Houston Houston or whatever.
Sonny Houston Houston Houston, yes.
Yeah. So two things. One, when she talks about the black journalist that she never names.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she say this journalist? It's just 3 black journalists.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know who they are.
No one ever follows up and say, which ones were those again?
Exactly. It's just a given. And we don't even know the context, like what happened, who the journalists were. I'm under the impression she may be talking about the event where Donald Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists, that Kamala Harris, in essence, snubbed them by not showing up or showing up several weeks later. I'm thinking that that's what she's talking about when she, that was famously when Donald Trump says that Kamala Harris became black. which is still my favorite.
Yeah, but I believe if I remember right, the journalist from that event also said something about him assaulting black journalists.
Oh,
So I'm thinking it might be older than that.
Yeah, it may be. It may be. I know that he's called journalists nasty, but then again, he's never wavered on considering a journalist to be nasty. April Ryan, he's called nasty. What's that? The woman from NPR who also works for PBS. Alcindor is her last name. He's called her nasty before, but then again, he's called plenty of white female journalists and male journalists nasty.
Well, that's the thing. He's racist because he treats everyone the same.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So let me ask you this. Do you think that Chris Murphy, do you think this is a gimmick that he's trying to stand out to his constituents by saying, see, I learned Democrats. Well, I'm one of the good ones. Do you think that he's doing this is literally is navel gazing on his part?
I think Chris Murphy and Blumenthal are so comfortable in their positions in Connecticut,
right,
that they just play things left and right, just depending on the day, the hour, the time to get them in national attention. I don't think they really think about reelection because I think they believe it's a given.
He got $14 million this round. That's insane. He didn't even need, how does he need $14 million to run that reelection campaign, and you know that your opponent only drummed up 200,000? Like
he doesn't, but he does need a house next to Bernie Sanders on whatever island he's on.
Good point. That's $14 million.
Where the money goes.
That's insane. But I'm just, and other candidates were running 1.1 million. Another one ran 600,000, close to $700,000 for the state. There are only a couple of networks you can run them on. I mean, what do we have? Like 5 big ones in the state. So,
well, that's what I mean. I don't think that just because they're receiving that money for their election doesn't mean they're spending it on their election.
Exactly.
And the other thing with Mika and Joe.
Real quick, what do you got?
The way they're having an awakening, and Sonny Houston Houston again is mad at them for being like, she thinks a journalist is someone that comes in with a preconceived notion and tries to debate the person you're interviewing. No, interview the person, ask them questions.
You got it. Sorry, I had to cut him off. I apologize. Matt, forgive me. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Our first look at the traffic. Hey, Mark. Sorry about that.
Hey, Reese, no problem. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And this traffic report is being brought to you by Whittlesey. And if you're making your way 91 southbound into downtown Hartford, you're going to see
Matt's going to kill me for that one.
as you move from 34 down to 32A and B. And then again, you'll see some slow traffic as you move down by between exit 20 and 19. We have a crash down there, and that is looking like it's taking out the right lane. It involves a tractor trailer. So once again, just south of exit 20, we've got that crash. Looks like you've got delays now kicking back toward exit 21 and Cromwell behind that. Northbound 91, no problems. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up. 56 Governor Street up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic. About a half mile before 46 Citizens Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 doing okay. 2 eastbound running well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound slowing in Waterbury by 18. 84 westbound is tight from exits 25A up to 25 in Waterbury on the westbound side of 84. Southbound 91 moving into New Haven. Look for delays now approaching exit 8 down to exit 7. South 95 slows from exit 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Whittlesey wants your business to succeed. Whittlesey is more than an accounting firm. They're advocates for your business, delivering a robust set of solutions, including audit, tax, technology, cybersecurity, and advisory services. Learn more at wadvising.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
WTIC News Time is now 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm David Shapiro, and the temperature in Hartford has dropped a couple of degrees. We're now down to 60. Get ready to shell out for that drive to Manhattan. New York's Transit Authority has now approved a congestion pricing plan starting at $9 a day for passenger cars. The money will be earmarked for fixing up the subways. But what about the streets, says this guy? They'll end up being even more clogged, he says.
It is really going to do a great disservice. You know, if you thought it was bad in June, what is it going to do to us now that the holidays are here?
A blood-spattered scene in Manhattan where a man with a knife fatally stabbed two men and left a woman in critical condition. It's thanks to a witness, says Mayor Eric Adams, that someone, a 51-year-old homeless man, is now in custody.
When he saw the assault, he followed the individual involved and gave the information to Officer Garvey, who took quick action and was able to apprehend the person who we believe is a suspect.
A bizarre bust on Route 32 in Wyndham. A man was busted after state troopers say he walked along the roadway while dressed in all black before allegedly threatening them. He's charged with walking on a public roadway while intoxicated and with threatening the troopers that he would blow their heads off. Things got hot around here as a brush fire scorched around 25 acres at the Nathan Hale Forest just east of Hartford. Crews from Canada and the Pacific Northwest helped them to fight it. They're here to assist with the effort to douse fires fueled by our dry conditions. Rich Schenk with the Division of Forestry tells Channel 3.
Pretty confident it won't get that much bigger, but we may have to burn a little bit to clean up one of the edges.
WTIC's John Silva with word of a new London cop accused of trying to choke someone.
Over the weekend, 29-year-old Julio Gil Martinez was arrested on a number of charges that include threatening, strangulation, assaults, unlawful restraint, and interfering. A statement from New London Police says a victim reported the incident to Waterford Police on Thursday. Gil Martinez was arrested Saturday after it was determined that incident occurred in a New London residence. He is now on leave. Police did not release specific details of the incident. Bond for Gil Martinez was set at $75,000. John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
They're feeling kind of dispirited at Spirit, the airline now in bankruptcy court.
Some travelers didn't know about the bankruptcy filing. It came as a bit of a shock.
I think I would have preferred to have heard it when I landed.
Other Spirit customers shrugged off the airline's financial problems. They were more concerned about the unexpected fees they sometimes encounter.
Like carry-on, it was like $79, right?
And several passengers said they hope everything works out for the airline because they think flying Spirit is a good deal.
That's probably the most affordable carrier in the entire industry, I would say.
John Baird for CBS News, Los Angeles International Airport.
And WTIC News Time is now 3 minutes past 4.
WTIC weather. For the rest of the afternoon, windy and warm with sunshine and some clouds, a high 65. Mainly clear skies for tonight, low for the rest of your Monday, 40. Mostly sunny and breezy for tomorrow with a high Tuesday, 61. Tomorrow night, clear to partly cloudy, low 35. Sunshine and some clouds around on Wednesday with a high 56. A few late showers on Wednesday night with a low 42. Cloudy and windy on Thursday. Periods of rain mainly early in the day. High 47. Thursday night low 35. Mostly cloudy on Friday. High 46. Friday night's low 39. On Saturday, cloudy, a high 49 and a low 40. And sunshine and some clouds on Sunday with a high 50. This is Andy Robb in the WTIC Weather Center.
And checking out the final numbers on Wall Street, the Dow fell 68 points, while the NASDAQ was up 111. S&P also up 23. For more, go to WTIC.com. I'm David Shapiro, WTIC 1080 News.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
1 minute. Rearranged my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
How's your French going?
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth. Do I look that stupid? Yes, you do.
And the stupidest thing that I read today, I've always talked about this since I can't remember when I haven't talked about this. And that is when society stopped allowing children to venture out on their own. I grew up, many of you grew up going outside, playing with your friends, sometimes going all over the neighborhood, riding your bikes, exploring the woods even. And you had to be home when the street light went on. Now, I know that generation is gone and past, and many of us are in our 50s, some of us even in our 60s, if not older. But this new generation of children who are just, helicoptered over by their parents has run amok. So in today's stupidest thing I read, go to reeseontheradio.com, that's reeseontheradio.com, to go read it, is about a mother who was arrested for child neglect because she allowed her son to walk home from an event. There's stories like this all over. Every year we get a story like this. When a mother just, she went home on her own, and the son, 11 years old, and I think in the day that this happened, it was, if not the day before or the day of his 12th birthday, he decided to walk home, and it was less than a mile away. Well, police caught wind of him or saw him walking by himself and then tracked him all the way back to his mother's home, and there was body cam footage, I should say, of her being arrested for doing just that, allowing her son to go out and walk on his own at 11 or 12. I don't know whether or not that's insane. Okay? It's been a long time since, but, when I was telling you guys how when I lived in Manchester, and I was really, really curious or cautious about letting my kids walk down the street at like 9 and 10. I thought that was too young down an isolated road because they might get kidnapped. I was really cautious about that. But as they got older, they took the train. They took the bus at 11, 12, when we lived in Manhattan, of all places. No one ever came to my door and wanted to arrest me for that. That's insane. Let's get to another check of the traffic by Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. When did you allow the kids, your son, to I guess, move about the city or if not the town by himself, Mark?
My son?
Yeah, I know you probably drove him everywhere.
With his common sense, I wouldn't let him go too far, Reese, to be honest.
You really wouldn't let him? He is not free to move about the cabin?
No, he's free to be with his friends and stuff, but I wouldn't let him walk around a major city at this point.
No, not in your neighborhood, like you would allow him to play outside.
Yeah.
So what was the age that you didn't you didn't tether him to the house, so to speak?
I would say around 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah. All right. So then, and I think that's a reasonable age.
No, when we were kids, we were outside all the time. In my house, my house had a flat lot, so it was the baseball, football, we had the basketball hoop. So that's where all the games were.
Yeah.
And we were outside, and then we started hearing our parents calling us in for dinner, and that's when we went in.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, we didn't want to do our homework, so we went out and played again after. So, that's how it was in the 70s growing up. It just was different.
I know.
Hey, if you're heading into now that's all about the cell phone now. Unfortunately, that's what's taken over. Now, if you're westbound 84 Reese coming into Hartford, delays 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to 48 Capitol Avenue. 91 southbound, you've got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Then you're back in some stop and go again as you move into Cromwell. We have an accident on the Middletown Meriden line just south of exit 20. That is taking out the right lane. Once again, delays back to 22 in Cromwell behind that. If you're heading 291 eastbound, a little slow on the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound moving good, Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound, some slow traffic between exit 30 and 31 as you move into Berlin. If you're heading 84 eastbound into Waterbury, delays by 18. Westbound 84 in Cheshire slowing 26 to 25 in Waterbury. And if you're heading down in toward New Haven, 91 southbound delays from 8 down to 6. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear and chilly tonight. The low down to 40. A mostly sunny, breezy, mild day Tuesday. The high of 61. Though it'll feel like it's in the 50s much of the day with that northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. The winds subside midweek for Wednesday. Sunshine, a few clouds. It'll be cooler. The high 56. Cloudy, increasingly windy Thursday. Damp, raw, and chilly. Periods of rain, though mainly early in the day. That high of 47. Going to feel a lot cooler with the north-northeast breeze at 12 to 25. Friday, mostly cloudy, another chilly feeling day, the high of 46, and cloudy on Saturday with the high of 49. Meriden 63, that's what Danbury is as well, 57 in Waterbury, 61 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
At the Carter Mario Law Firm, we've recovered over $1 billion for injured people. When you need someone to fight for you, you need to get Carter in your corner. Visit getcarter.com or call us at 877-GET-CARTER.
Your vacation possibilities just got more exciting. Enjoy connections to over 20 cities across Europe when you fly non-stop to Dublin from Hartford with Aer Lingus. Great fares from Bradley International Airport, now available on airlingus.com.
Are you ready for a fantastic deal on eyewear? Visit Lenses Only Optical Centers today and get a complete pair of glasses starting at just $99. That's right, frames and lenses for only $99. Whether you need single vision, bifocals, or progressives, we have the best quality lenses anywhere. Plus, we have an amazing selection of designer frames to choose from, all at unbeatable prices. Only at Lenses Only. Visit us today in Avon, Bloomfield, Torrington, Weathersfield, and now Plainville. Select frames and single vision only. See store.
Paid for by government.
Hold on a minute.
The time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan Silver Dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $50 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's get back to the phones. No doubt. Vibrations de la soul. So I'm again, Chris Powell is going to be on the program in a little bit to talk about his article on ChrisPowellColumn.com. Many Democrats are crazy too and on track to ignorance. It's a really, really good article because, of course, it talks about the stuff we've talked about here as of late. But I want to get into a little bit with him about what Chris Murphy's talking about versus what's actually happening. This was in Breitbart today, this article, and just the headline alone tells you exactly what people are saying in private but won't say in public. DNC attacks far-left Democrats for election losses, does not want to be the freak show party. And they're quoting a couple of Democrats, not prominent ones, but a couple of Democrats that are saying that, you know, they need to kick it up a notch. But, you know, I'm not rooting for Democrats. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to sound like those people saying, you know, the Republican Party is going to be this, that, and the third if they don't get their act together. I don't care if they ever get their act together. I got to be straight with you. I don't care. You know, as long as we get conservatism and conservative candidates and keep it going, get to the bottom of this nonsense that's happening in Washington and drain the swamp and get our money out of ridiculous things like, you know, alligator racing, all of that on treadmills. Just get for finally the government to be accountable to the people. That's what I would. That's all I want. And if they get it together, they get it together. But if they don't, and they continue to lose elections, bravo. But I'll talk to Chris Powell when he gets here. But to your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. Mike's in Plainville. How you doing, Mike?
It'll never happen, but I'd love to meet President Trump and just say, hey, Mr. President, I can kind of relate to what you've been under the last since what 2015, sooner.
Yeah,
I've been called a racist. I've been called a Nazi. This is out in public. I've been called a misogynist because I'm taller. I'm on the athletic side.
But Mike, you
walk into a gas station convenience store and I'm glowing all over from head to toe, and this woman started off on me.
So are you wearing Trump gear with pride now? Is that what you're doing?
I don't wear Trump gear. It's all in my heart. I don't really display that kind of thing because you don't know what people are going to do to you.
Yeah, I can understand the apprehension. Yeah, sure.
I can compare this Democratic loss or a butt kicking to like the Twilight Zone episode. Remember Maple Street?
Yeah.
The aliens were watching Claude Akins was in that episode, and everybody said, it's almost like if you vote Republican out, there he is, there they are. We have to get them.
Let me ask you, Mike, I don't know, and I know you're not much into the social media thing, but they are talking about this on the news. I saw it earlier today on America's Newsroom, and it's been making headlines elsewhere as well. So there is a new trend in the NFL and in sports overall, a lot of male sports, that touchdown and goal celebrations are turning into the Trump dance. Have you seen that?
I don't care for the celebrations. They should outlaw them.
But even with that, and I'm not gonna lie. So I was watching it online. I was researching for the show.
What's it look like?
So it's just a bunch of scoring a touchdown or getting a sack on the quarterback. I was also watching it during a soccer game. During a guy scored a goal, and there was sort of like a group celebration. And the celebrations have been everyone kind of doing the YMCA Trump dance.
It's got to be you have to have a fist pump too.
Yeah, that's exactly. So what I'm noticing in this is, and again, it's subtle because it's not, what I find interesting about this is a guy that the NFL was railing against just 6-7 years ago. Remember? They were, and now there are football celebrations to him, by mimicking his dance. It's almost like I'm living in an alternate universe.
Reese, the game has become so big and popular that Roger Goodell, he doesn't care. He really can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they let all this other stuff go during COVID and Black Lives Matter and all these movements.
Yeah.
There's not much he can do. This is so much bigger than I think he expected when he took the job as commissioner.
Listen, well, I'll tell you this. What I'm seeing here is what can only be described as a cultural shift in America. And, look, the left used to own it. Like they owned, music, movies, entertainment overall. And now there's this cultural shift where, again, seeing these men, these football players, doing these dances and these celebrations, the UFC championship in Madison Square Garden, where the champion actually hands the belt to Donald Trump and starts doing his dance, is seen holding his hand and embracing Donald Trump. It was unheard of just 4 years ago. Unheard of.
None of it. What's good about it is it's not too gaudy. It's not intrusive.
Right.
Well, maybe to the losers, of course.
It's not subtle. It's not subtle, but it's evident, but not. It's like it's just evident, but it's not done over the top. No one's being abrasive with it. It's just a little subtle dance, and they showed their I guess their camaraderie in some way with Donald Trump, and I just find it fascinating that where we were 4 years ago.
Things run in tandem. The weather here, you came up at the perfect time.
I know.
When you did.
I know. I did. I'm not going to lie.
We've had the dry foliage, the beautiful sunny weather, and you know what? Things run in teams and tandems.
Yeah, it
nice
does.
Weather, 2 weeks after the election, going on 3.
Beautiful.
How about that? How
Thank-
about that, folks?
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to James. Hey, my buddy James in Windsor. How are you, sir?
Hey, my brother from another mother.
So, James, what do you think? Do you think that is it weird that there's so many people in I guess, in football, as we saw in sports, that are now showing this affinity to Donald Trump in some way? It's sort of like, hey, he's cool.
You're talking about the fist pumping dance?
Yeah, the fist pump dance. They're doing this, celebrating in the end zone.
I mean, Joe Biden would say, "Come on, man." I mean, look, dude. It's like a dance fab.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Once it catch on, you can't let it go.
Yeah. I mean, I know these things run their course after a while, but this just seems so like it's immediate and it's like pronounced. It's everywhere you look now. They're like the fact that I saw it on a soccer field in one of these Twitter feeds, I was going, what?
Well, no, it's a fab, Reese. It's a fab.
Ah.
People are flowing. People are going through the natural flow of things.
Gotcha.
Okay? And that dance is a flow.
Gotcha.
Okay? So people are getting on the bandwagon and they're riding it out, man.
But it's pop. You know what? I do believe that for me, I've never seen this kind of popularity for something conservative or on the right. This is, we've always seen this sort of on the left. You know what I mean? It's like it's never been associated with conservatives.
Times have changed.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, the left can't dominate bullshit.
Yeah, we're gonna have to jump that one.
because right now the flow is good, Reese. The
It
flow
is
good.
You know what?
People are rejoicing about the flow being in a positive frame of mind because the left has taken it so far left that the current is changing now.
Yeah, I agree, sir.
The current is changing. So with the current being changing, people are getting on their surfboard and they're riding the waves, baby.
Thank you, James. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Dave in Windsor. How are you doing, Dave?
Good. Yourself?
I'm all right, sir. What do you got?
Yeah, have some fun with the dance because it really looks funny.
It
if
does.
You know what it means. You know what? Because it leads to his homosexual roots.
Oh, Jesus, Dave. Is that what the dance represents?
It's fascination with penises and.
Nice try, buddy. Nice try.
Well, no, it's true. It's true.
No, it's a ridiculous. First of all, have you ever seen Dave? Dave, hold on for a second. Are you familiar with
the? Goes down on a microphone.
Dave,
that was a good move too.
Dave, are you familiar with what's called the white man's overbite?
You know what? Let me tell you something. I hate Trump.
All right. Okay. All right. No kidding. Oh, goodness gracious. Like, I hate Trump. Well, okay, what else is new? Who's calling? Who's this from Harvard? Hey, what's going on? It's Reese on the radio. Who's this?
Hey, Reese. This is Peter. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, sir?
I got a listener survey question for you.
Okay.
I'm curious how many of your listeners actually care and listen to the traffic reports. Reason being, I drive and I don't listen to the traffic reports. In fact, I find it somewhat annoying. They interrupt your show, and the background noise. The background noise is hard to. You can't even hear what the traffic guy's saying.
Why are you guys hating on traffic report? I understand where you're coming from.
Unnecessary.
Because you guys
online.
You guys
everything's online, or you have an app, or you have it on.
But that's who we are. News and traffic, WTIC. But I know what people are saying, and don't get me wrong. Let me say this to you, Peter. I know exactly what you're saying without disparaging anybody. Is that you love this? You like the show, and you don't want it to be interrupted. Thank you, and I appreciate the compliment.
Well, yeah. That being said, but like, who really needs traffic reports these days?
Well,
unnecessary.
I don't know. And again, listen. I'll be the last guy to criticize exactly what I'm an employee here. They do it because I'm assuming, because hey, don't get me wrong. I get a lot of people who call up here and say, I was listening for the traffic and then I heard you.
Come on.
Seriously, this woman, Peter, this woman Ann called up the show. I'm telling you, this really happened. A woman by the name of Ann called up a couple of weeks ago. Everybody can confirm this. She called up and she said, I was checking out WTIC for the traffic report, and she heard me talking about Haitians. No, wait a minute. She said she heard me talking about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, and she was miffed at the fact that I was talking about eating cats and dogs. So.
All right. Well, like I said, listener survey. People call in. I'd love to hear people say,
I am
yes,
never,
I do, or no,
okay,
I don't.
we're never going to do that. Never, ever, ever. And you crazy, these people would have my head, but I appreciate, Peter.
No, people are going to call anyway, just when you give your message.
Don't instruct them to do that, Peter. God love you. No, don't instruct them to do that. The views expressed by Peter are not necessarily those of Reese on the Radio and WTIC. God, don't hate on my man. Listen to me. Mark Christopher, it ain't about you. Don't make it. He'll be here in a minute. There's this hating. Anyway. All right, when we come back, we've got Chris Powell from ChrisPowellColumn.com. He's going to talk about many Democrats are crazy too and on track to ignorance. We'll talk about what he means by that if you haven't read his article yet. And we'll also talk about the new approach that Chris Murphy believes that the Democrats should take. I don't know, like, is he angling for something? Is he angling to be the new Senate minority leader? Like, is he going to take over for Chuck Schumer? Is there any rumors about that? I haven't heard any. I haven't heard any rumors about that, but he's angling for something. Because, that stuff doesn't happen just to be happening. Chris Murphy, he's really, really got something's happening. I don't know. We'll get into it. We'll ask Chris Powell about it when we get back. And now, the aforementioned Chris... Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 91 southbound, looking at delays from exit 33 down to 32 A and B. And then once you get south of downtown, a little tap of the brakes down by exit 28. And more delays 23 to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. And more delays in Cromwell approaching 21. We have an accident between 20 and 19 involving a tractor trailer. That's in the right lane. Stay left. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you've got slow traffic approaching 46 into the tunnel. 291 eastbound, a little tight over the Bissell Bridge into South Windsor. Now, if you're traveling 2 eastbound, you're okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro, quiet in Middletown. 9 northbound's a little slow, 30 to 31 in Berlin. If you're heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound, you've got delays by exit 18. Westbound 84 slows in Cheshire approaching 26 up to 25. If you're traveling into downtown New Haven, 91 southbound, some delays, 6 in toward the 95 interchange. 95 southbound slows, 46 to 43 in West Haven. Southbound Parkway, you're tight from 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear, breezy, and cold tonight. The low down to 35. Now, it's going to be windy throughout the weekend. That combination of gusty winds, low humidity, and the copious dry brush will result in a very high fire threat this weekend. Saturday, mostly sunny, the high of 61. The northwest winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy, that high of 63. It's going to feel like it's in the 50s at best with the north-northwest wind still cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mild Monday to kick off the new week. Not as breezy. More clouds than sun. The high of 63. Can't rule out a shower Monday either. Tuesday, breezy. Otherwise, mostly sunny. The high of 59. Wednesday, mostly sunny. A light breeze out of the east. The high of 58. Mostly cloudy and cooler with some heavy showers on Thursday. Damp and raw. Bit of a chill in the air. The high of 51. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
WTIC news time is 4:30. Get ready to plunk down $9 every time you drive into Midtown Manhattan. New York's MTA board has now approved a revised congestion pricing plan. eyebrows raised in Hartford as a brush fire races across 25 acres of the Nathan Hale Forest just 10 miles east of the Connecticut capital. Crews tell WTIC they were able to quickly get the upper hand.
It was a very slow burning fire. It was not really getting away with the wind pushing it. So, it was just a matter of cutting off the fuel supply to it. And crews got on the scene pretty rapid this morning, and got right to work with it. Managed to get it under control quickly.
Fire Chief Ron Mike, a Wyndham man, is charged with threatening to blow the heads off of some Connecticut state troopers. The officers say they were on Route 32 when the man walked over to them while dressed in all black while intoxicated and allegedly threatened them. The suspect identified as Max Gallup. Police in Hartford say demonstrators were there and rallying, and they want Connecticut to remain a welcoming state for immigrants following President-elect Trump's threats of mass deportations. WTIC News Time is now 4:31.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of the afternoon, sun and clouds, a high 65, mainly clear. Tonight, low 40, mostly sunny, breezy. For tomorrow, high 61 and a low 35. And Wednesday, high 56. This is Andy Robb in the WTIC Weather Center.
The Dow dropped 55 today, while the Nasdaq gained 111, and the S&P rose 23. In sports and Monday Night Football, it'll be the Houston Texans visiting the Dallas Cowboys. In basketball, the Wizards are over at the Knicks, while the Celtics are off, and the Bruins in hockey host the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm David Shapiro, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
1 minute.
Boxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas. Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back, Reese on the Radio, right here on News Talk 1080. We got a guest on the phone. He writes for an article. It's on chrispowellcolumn.com to check it out. And he writes a lot of great articles. This one was actually pretty interesting to me, and that's why I contacted him today to have a conversation with him. It is Chris Powell, again, from chrispowellcolumn.com. Chris, thank you for joining the show on such short notice.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Reese.
Oh, man, my pleasure. Listen, so I want to talk about your article first, but your article goes into a little bit about my opening monologue today. But your article is talking about the crazies on the left that don't seem to get a lot of mention in mainstream media or even from that of the Justice Department. talking about, how they seem to shine a light on people on the right who do a lot of crazy and insane things. But in your article, as you say, that the Democrats have got the crazies clearly outnumbered in that regard. Tell us a little bit about your article.
Yeah, well, there's been a big number of people who have made a point of video recording their freakouts, their mental breakdowns about Trump's election and the Republican capture of Congress, and they tape themselves, screaming and cursing and crying, and they put these videos on the internet to manifest their displeasure in the results of the election. I mean, as if they've never lost an election before. They're predicting, Nazi tyranny for America. Some women were pledging to stop having sex with their husbands and boyfriends to punish them for voting for Trump, as if millions of women didn't vote for Trump as well. In fact, as if Trump didn't gain among most demographic groups. But these people they're broadcasting their freakouts, and I just think it's mental illness. It's an epidemic of mental illness on the left, and while you can find this stuff all over the internet, it's not something that mainstream media is paying attention to, I imagine, because the people broadcasting their freakouts are Democrats and not Republicans.
I think the reason why they're not reporting it, Chris Powell, is because they're responsible for it. I mean, if you think about it, if you watched all of those videos as I have, and, we get them into our feed naturally because we do this every day, they use the same sort of talking points that we hear on those networks. So far be it for them to actually broadcast the effect that they've had on these individuals, right? Because dare someone make the connection. It was like, hey, that lunatic sounds like you, Rachel Maddow. If you really look at it, look at the person we had, James Hodgkinson. You might remember from 2017? So stand by real quick. I'm sorry, I totally forgot just the opening break. When we come back, we'll talk a little more with Chris Powell about this article, but let's get back into the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Always great to hear Chris Powell, the former managing editor of the Journal-Inquirer. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now and you're on the eastbound side of I-84, you're going to see some slow traffic coming in about half mile before 46th Avenue into the downtown tunnel. Now, on the westbound side of 84, you've got delays 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 slows 33 down to 32 A and B. Slowing again 23 down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange. More delays again from 21 down to between 20 and 19. An accident involving a tractor trailer that blocks the right lane. Stay left. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound at Good Ride, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet in Middletown. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 26 to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound is tied up approaching exit let's see, that would be exit 18 in Waterbury. If you're heading toward New Haven right now, southbound 91 delays from exit 6 in toward the 95 interchange. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. And southbound Parkway delays approaching 61 down to the West Rock Tunnel in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear and quite cool tonight with the low down to 40 degrees. Sunny and breezy day for us on Tuesday, the high of 61, but it'll feel more like the 50s throughout the day with that northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. The winds subside midweek for Wednesday. Sunshine, a few clouds. It'll be cooler, though, the high of 56. Cloudy and increasingly windy Thursday. Damp, raw, and chilly with periods of rain, but mainly early in the day, the high 47. Feeling much cooler with the north-northeast winds cranking back up to 12 to 25. Friday, mostly cloudy, less windy, but a chilly feel to the air, the high of 46. Cloudy and chilly again on Saturday with that high of 49. Right now, Mansfield at 57, Granby 59. It's also 59 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us for a night to remember at the United Way of Central and Northeastern Connecticut Centennial Gala. Let's unite and forge a new path to end poverty. Mark your calendars for December 14th at the Connecticut Convention Center and get your tickets at unitedwayinc.org.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Running a small business takes endurance, determination, and the right support to reach your goals. And MasterCard is here to help fuel that journey in a fast-paced digital world. With innovative tools and resources, we're here to guide businesses every step of the way digitally. Because when small business wins, everyone wins. Let's power up our communities one small business and one step at a time. Keeping the community running strong, priceless.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our
1 minute
best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us.
Thank you.
So we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We're back right here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. You heard the big voice. And still with us is Chris Powell of ChrisPowellColumn.com. Is that the only place where people can find you, Chris?
Well, there's a few papers in the state that publish most of my columns.
Okay, but generally, just go to ChrisPowell.com. Sorry, ChrisPowellColumn.com in order to find all of your articles.
Yeah, you can always find them there.
Yeah. So again, as we were talking, and I totally forgot, I should have had Jane in a later break, not this one. But anyway, what we were talking about was the fact that there are so many people. Oh, James Hodgkinson, the shooter in Alexandria, Virginia, who shot Steve Scalise and others. And when pretty much a breakdown of what James Hodgkins was viewing and what his political stripes were, we find out that he was a Bernie Sanders volunteer and an avid watcher of Rachel Maddow. So perhaps that's part of the reason why the media does not put a lot of focus on some of these people, like, as we just noticed recently, Annie Dunleavy right here in the state of Connecticut, in Cheshire, in the Cheshire school system, who pretty much blew a gasket online, on TikTok, talking about harming people who voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, she was induced to resign, though I suspect she will end up surreptitiously being given a job at another school system. I was joking that she still may end up being proclaimed Cheshire's Teacher of the Year because of this. I mean, certainly the teachers union will, I think, support her all the way. But look, what really bothers me about what's going on this year, Reese, is that nearly all the news organizations have just discarded fairness, even any pretense of fairness. They used to at least try to be fair to both sides. Both sides would have their blemishes and their scandals, and they'd report both sides. But they just, don't anymore. I mean, if you listen to the networks, except I suppose for Fox, Trump is the only politician who lies.
Yeah.
And that the networks were covering up Biden's senility for at least 2 years, but they never reported that until he came out and displayed it on national TV during the debate. The debate with Trump. They were sitting on that. They were concealing that. And that was the worst sort of partisanship, because it was very much against the national interest.
Yeah. One thing I mean, I will say this again. You're a journalist. I am not, but I heard you use the word fairness, and this is something that I use in my life. I always often said this to my children. They would always say, "That's not fair, Dad. That's not fair." And my response to them was, "Fairness is subjective." But I do believe that the news media should be objective. And in that sense is not to play sides. I think it's become for them more popular to be subjective in their journalism, and for the reasons that they get to stay amongst the same groups, the parties, the social, I guess social groups that they get to hang out with. I kind of feel like they will no longer be accepted into those groups, even if their subjectivity keeps them from keeping a job or making money for the network they work for. Because I look at places like CNN and MSNBC, I'm sure you've heard the reports as well, that these networks are hemorrhaging viewers because they no longer trust them or believe them or see their subjectivity in their reporting. That no one, I think one report said, I was listening to a podcast called, is it called the All In podcast? Does that sound correct?
I don't know.
There's a podcast where there's a lot of these guys where they said that the one thing that's keeping a lot of these networks afloat is the pharmaceutical companies. And that's pretty much what's paying their salaries, because no other network or no other company will advertise with them because they have no ratings to speak of. So they're just constantly hemorrhaging viewers because they refuse to be objective.
Well, they're going after, a certain partisan audiences. I think they've decided that the best way to maintain an audience is to, just aim for one special spot on the political spectrum and to pander to that spectrum. I guess they've given up on the idea that there might be a general audience that is, interested in learning about all sides of the question. And we've basically reverted to the sort of press we had at the beginning of the country. It's not generally understood, but newspapers in the United States originated as partisan political organs, as the formal mouthpieces of political parties. You still see this in some places where the newspaper's name has a party's name. We have the Springfield Republican up in Massachusetts. Here in Connecticut, we've got the Waterbury Republican American, which originally was the organ of the Republican Party in Waterbury. The American Party was the nativist party back in the 1840s and 50s. And if you look very closely on the paper's editorial page, you see that in 1945, the paper absorbed the Waterbury Democrat.
Wow.
So once upon a time in Waterbury, there were three political party organizations, and they had their own newspaper, and eventually they consolidated as the economics required.
Right.
But originally the press was partisan, and then it decided maybe there was better business to be had in being a little less partisan, at least having fair news coverage, and you could editorialize on the editorial page. That's where the most frank opinion belonged. But not anymore. The news coverage now is 100% partisan in some of these news organizations, and it gives a pass to one side, while it crucifies the other. And maybe they figure that's a good business model, but it's not the one I grew up with.
That's what I want to ask you. We're on the phone with Chris Powell of the ChrisPowellColumn.com, and of course various newspapers in New England. Chris, let me ask you about that. Even because I keep asking myself this question. Chris Murphy's quoted not too long ago, and even this weekend, talking about how Democrats or the left have become isolationist. I also believe that in the in the newsrooms, in the newspapers as well. You had recently Jeff Bezos deciding not to endorse Kamala Harris or any candidate in this election. We have the LA Times that just reported that they fired their entire editorial staff. because, again, they feel they're hemorrhaging cash. Every time or every news cycle, not shouldn't say every news cycle, every election cycle, they've got another 100 or 200 people being fired from these news outlets because they're isolating themselves and losing more and more subscribers. Are they coming back because, I mean, how long is it sustainable for you to be partisan and continue to lose money? Because it's not helpful to them. I mean, in the long run, I mean, you're in the columnist business. Is it sustainable, or are they going to come around?
Well, I don't know anybody who's making much money in the newspaper business anymore. I hope to God somebody finds a way to revive the financing there. Soon Chong, the publisher of the LA Times, decided that he wants to balance the paper now more politically, and I would cheer that on. The staffers at the Washington Post that were sore at Bezos because he wouldn't let them run an editorial endorsing Harris, and the 200 or 250,000 Washington Post subscribers who canceled their subscriptions over that, I think were incredibly stupid. An endorsement editorial in the Washington Post would have persuaded nobody at all.
Right.
I mean, anybody who's reading those editorials has already made up his mind by this point. But the Washington Post is a tribune of the left wing and the Democratic Party. It is a propagandist for the Democratic Party. It does far more value, provides far more value for the Democratic Party in its news columns than on its editorial pages. So to worry about the formal partisanship of the editorial page and to sacrifice the propaganda value of the news pages is stupid. All these people who were canceling the subscription to the Washington Post, all these angry liberals, they're just weakening their own side.
Right. Wow. Good point. I never even thought about it from that level. It's like I thought that, I was wondering how the newspaper could possibly recover, but I guess in the end, they only end up destroying it and, in essence, harming it out of existence. The
news pages provide far more effective propaganda than the editorial pages.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me ask you this before I let you go. I've talked about this in the opening monologue about Chris Murphy's statements with regard to the Democrat Party, saying that they need to be, again, less isolationist and more inclusive. He says about things like climate change and gun control. Many others are talking about, its stance on LGBTQ issues, about transgender or gender affirming care, things like that. Those things are ruining the party. With the amount of money that's going into the coffers of people like Chris Murphy, he got $14 million this go round. Do you think that he's just, what do you think? Is it platitudes? Do you really believe that this party is trying to change and become more of a working man's party, or is that foregone? Is the Democrat Party too far afoot from what they used to be?
Well, Senator Murphy said after the election it was time to rebuild the left.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's time to rebuild the left. The left is still incredibly powerful in the country. It still has all the news organizations. It has all the labor unions, all the government employees. It's got the cultural and business establishment. It's got all the money in the world. They outspent Trump greatly in the last election. They still lost. The left is still incredibly powerful in the country, and especially here in Connecticut. What I think they need to do is they've got to bring the left back into some sanity toward the middle a little bit. The country has been turned off by this mandatory transgenderism and mandatory electric cars and open borders. It's the policies of the left that really the gratuitous policies of the left that I think have driven people away. It's all this direction of the left. It has very little to do with the living standards of the average American. And the left in power over the last 4 years, in my opinion, it demolished the living standards of average Americans. I mean, you want to know what's wrong? Well, the party, the so-called party of the working class, it ground down the working class with probably 25, 30% inflation because the government figures are all falsified and minimized. And it admitted 10, 12, 14, 15 million illegal aliens into the country, which drove up housing prices, which, demolished the working class, and it also drove down the wage base. The Democratic Party, supposedly the party of the working class, has devastated the working class, and that's why they lost the election. And I don't think Murphy or anybody else is onto that yet.
Chris Powell, let me ask you this in closing. So those things you just described, right? So they've gone all in on transgenderism. They've gone all in on electric vehicles. And Chris Murphy's here talking about climate change and about gun legislation. Are the things that you just mentioned, those three things, transgender, gender affirming care, and EVs, haven't those things become the tenets of being a liberal now, where the gun control and climate change sort of like play the background? Because I kind of feel like that's their identity, is the LGBTQ mission.
Well, it seems to be becoming so with that and the refusal to distinguish between legal and illegal immigration. That all seems to be part of the platform of the politically correct left. But the left used to have a primary interest in raising living standards in the country and elevating the poor. And they've been doing the exact opposite in the last 4 years.
Yeah. Are you familiar with a writer by the name of Paul Chouanoir? Am I pronouncing that poorly?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, he writes for another publication, but I'm actually going to have him. Oh, it's called The Day. He writes for a newspaper called The Day.
You're talking about Paul Chouanier.
Chouanier. Okay, I knew I was pronouncing it poorly. He's going to be on tomorrow at 4:00, and he writes in his article that the things that you and I just discussed, that's not the reason why the Democrats lost. So I hope you tune in tomorrow at 4:05.
No, I read his column.
You read it?
I just wrote finished writing a column responding to
Did you? Okay, good. I have to find it. Or you know what? You have my email address. Send a link to me so I can.
I will. It's not done yet.
Okay, no problem. Please, if you can send it to me before he airs tomorrow, I'd really appreciate it.
I think Paul doesn't. He was writing about how all the good things the Biden administration did. I don't think he realizes that the inflation of the Biden administration just nullified all the good
completely.
things.
And that's why I wanted to ask you about that. All right, thank you. Folks, check out Chris Powell's column at chrispowellcolumn.com. Chris, thank you for coming in, and we'll have you back, I promise.
Thanks very much, Reese.
You got it, sir. All right, let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. This traffic report being brought to you by Tab Computer Systems, a 100% employee-owned company. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91. Look for slow traffic now as you move from exit 33 down to 32 A and B, and then some more slow traffic from 22 in Cromwell down to 21 in Cromwell. Northbound 91 looking good, Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing half mile before 46 is an avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound moving well until you get up to exit 4 in East Hartford up to the 84 West Merge. A little tight there. Both sides of 9 losing some speed by the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound slows from exit 32 up to exit 34 in Berlin. Now, if you're on the westbound side of 84, you've got delays approaching 26 to 25. 84 eastbound Waterbury slows from exit 17 to the Mixmaster. If you're heading toward New Haven, southbound Parkway delays from 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, you've got delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. At Tab Computer Systems, our employee owners are dedicated to your business success. We offer affordable enterprise-grade solutions in cybersecurity, VoIP, compliance, IT consulting, implementation and support, technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app. Now, WTIC weather.
Mainly clear, breezy, and cold tonight. The low 35. Mostly sunny, windy on our Saturday. Now, the gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush will result in a high fire threat throughout the weekend. The high of 61. The northwest winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour Saturday. Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy, mild, the high of 63, but it's going to feel like it's in the 50s with that busy north-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mild Monday, more clouds than sun, breezy again in the afternoon, the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
WTIC News Time is 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm David Shapiro, and we're cooling down, now down to 56 degrees in Hartford. Fire's out now, but there were some anxious moments near Connecticut's capital as a brush fire raced across 25 acres of the Nathan Hale Forest. Local crews, assisted by firefighters from out of state and even from Canada, were able to contain the flames. Those other firefighters are here to help put out fires that keep popping up in our dry conditions. Crews tell WTIC it does not take much to start a fire when it's this dry.
We've been set up and prepared for brush fires, and most of ours have been cigarette butts on the side of the road. Pull up with a truck, hit it with a little bit of water, and it's out pretty quickly. Nothing of this size and magnitude, that's for sure.
We've been seeing wildfires all over the Northeast in recent weeks, and now here in New England, there is an arson arrest.
A 72-year-old man has been arrested on charges of intentionally setting several brush fires in his hometown of Attleboro, Massachusetts, about 40 miles south of Boston. He was taken into custody during a traffic stop based on what police are calling video surveillance. None of the brush fires caused major property damage. Tinder dry conditions have led to dozens of wildfires throughout the Northeast. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Worried about mass deportations threatened by President-elect Trump, protesters rallied today in Hartford. Mayor Aruna Naralambalam and other local leaders addressed the crowd, and this comes as CBS's Christian Benavides says that Trump is doubling down.
Trump posted that his mass deportation program will involve declaring a national emergency and using military assets. There are an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. Deporting them could cost billions of dollars.
Controversy over several Trump cabinet picks, among them Defense Secretary pick Pete Hegseth, a Fox News host who once paid a woman as part of a non-disclosure agreement after she accused him of sexually attacking her. CBS's Nicole Killian is gauging reaction on Capitol Hill.
There are some lawmakers who back this pick. There are others who don't. But one thing is clear, certainly many lawmakers who will be a part of any upcoming confirmation hearings would like to get more information about some of these allegations so they can make an informed decision going forward.
Even potentially shakier is the Attorney General pick, Matt Gaetz, who quit Congress last week as the House Ethics Committee was about to release its findings of its investigation into him, says CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
Speaker Mike Johnson is trying to encourage them not to release the report since Gaetz is no longer a member, but the lawyer is going to be speaking to the media about these really salacious details of the charges against Gaetz, including that the two women that he represents attended multiple sex parties with Gaetz, and one of the women says that she saw him sleeping with a friend of hers who was a minor at the time. But he really says that he is doing this media push because he doesn't want to put his clients through having to be interrogated about this again, particularly on the Senate floor.
Lockdown this afternoon for two Connecticut schools, Portland High School and Portland Middle School, went into lockdown because of a threat made online. Police say that when Johnny Ray Halmus Burton of Enfield recently purchased a car, his check was just as rubbery as the tires. The person who sold the car was then told by his bank that the $10,000 check had bounced because it was fraudulent. Now, Halmus Burton is charged with possession of a stolen car. The victim helped police find the suspect after discovering that the car was advertised again as being for sale. I'm David Shapiro, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. Let's talk about turning back the clock. Really turning it back. Awaken 180 Golden has always been a game changer for weight loss for those 60 and over. But now we're talking age reversal.
Oh, man.
And mind. feeling like you did 10, even 20 years ago. Feel sharper, more agile, stronger, and mentally on top of your game. How? In addition to fast, proven weight loss for those over 60, Awaken 180 Golden now includes sleep coaching, falling asleep quicker, staying asleep, daily meal plans, yes, simplicity, and most importantly, natural supplements designed to promote brain age and physical age reversal. It's a full reboot to improve your memory, clarity, energy, and yes, weight loss. Awaken 180 Golden isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling incredible on the inside.
And 10.
Learn how Awaken 180 Golden
Jeez.
can turn back the clock
was loud.
for you. There is no better time than now for that reboot. Put more life back in your life with the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Today on the 5 o'clock focus, you may have heard that congestion pricing has been approved in New York City. And a lot of people in Connecticut work in the New York City area. And I don't know how many people drive. I always thought that a lot of people just commuted through Metro North. But a lot of people do drive into New York, and they'll have to pay that $9, I guess $9 a day to drive into Lower Manhattan. The interesting part is that they have this grid that says that the congestion pricing starts at 60th Street across Manhattan, east to west, and then works its way south all the way to the Battery, which makes no sense to me because, ladies and gentlemen, 60th Street does not go across Manhattan. 59th Street does. It goes all the way across Manhattan, and as it passes by Central Park, it becomes Central Park South. Many of you might remember the Regency, maybe the Plaza Hotel. That is all on 59th Street. So the people who have drawn the map obviously know nothing about New York. There is no 60th Street that goes directly across. 57th, well, it's got to be, yes, called Central Park South. That goes straight across, 59th Street. The other major intersection is 57th Street. So 59th, not 60th. Is pretty much where, I guess, the congestion is supposed to start at 60th Street. But when you get into it, what will you do? Will you just take the train? I'm wondering what parking is going to be like in the upper parts of Manhattan. Roland, do you even go to Manhattan? Like, you don't ever have to travel there for anything, right? You probably stay there.
Not anymore.
No, when's the last time you were, like, if you had to go to the city south of Central Park?
Probably like 8 years ago.
Wow, yeah, it's a while. It's a while. I don't see any reason to do it. You're going to have to join the buses and the trains that go downtown. Why bother? Why bother? I don't see anybody do it. Now, I know Mark Christopher doesn't even bother to go south of Bridgeport. But Mark Christopher's in the BPS traffic center. If you had to work in Manhattan, Mark, would you just take a bus or a train, take the Metro North into Manhattan, save yourself the $9? Like, who would spend that much money every day?
Yeah, that's a lot of
That
money.
number's going to go, and it's going to go to $13.50. Oh, by the way, if you don't have Easy Pass, it's $13.50.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, you know what? I think the last time I was in Manhattan, we went to the Statue of Liberty, we went to the Freedom Tower, and a couple other things. But yeah, that would be in that congestion area down there. I don't know. I mean,
why would you even park?
I go there for fun, so I would maybe go once or maybe twice a year, so it wouldn't affect me. But yeah,
but you go after you go off peak. Then it wouldn't cost you a thing.
Yeah, I'm not going in during the business hours generally. So, yeah, but I could see every day that would add up. I mean, if I lived in Connecticut, I would take the train, and I wouldn't even bother to
That's
drive.
what I'm saying. If most people come in from Bridgeport, from Greenwich, all that other stuff, just take Metro North, man. Like, why bother?
By far the best way to go, unless the line's down like it was last week.
Woo, baby.
Fire, but I don't know. That seems, if you had to commute every day and you're not taking the train, that's a major hassle. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, southbound side of 91, you got delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, a little tight down by exit 22 in Cromwell. Northbound 91, no issues. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing 56 Governor Street to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing approaching 46 into the tunnel. Looks good 291 through 84. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Slightly slow 9 southbound as you move down into downtown Middletown down by the Irrigoti Bridge. 9 northbound slows 31 up to exit 34 in Berlin. Heading into Waterbury, westbound 84, some delays now from the 691 interchange up to 25 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing by 18 in Waterbury. Southbound Parkway slows 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays in New Haven, 4 in toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound, you're heavy 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Mainly clear, quite cool tonight. The low down to 40 degrees. It'll be breezy, but mostly sunny on Tuesday. The high of 61. It'll feel more like it's in the 50s, though, with the northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Sunshine, a few clouds. Wednesday, the winds subside. The high of 56. Cloudy, increasingly windy again on Thursday, though. We'll have periods of rain, but mainly early in the day. A damp, raw, and chilly day with the high of 47. The north-northeast winds back up to 12 to 25 miles an hour. Friday, mostly cloudy, less windy, but a chilly day, the high 46. Cloudy Saturday, the high of 49. New Haven at 63, Bridgeport 61, it's 57 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you need the Carter Mario Law Firm, Connecticut's firm for the injured. We are ready to fight for you 24/7. So go to getcarter.com or call us at 877-GET-CARTER.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
Lots of drama.
My office has its ups.
You are
and
coming in
downs.
hot. You know that?
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. Yeah. 5 o'clock focus on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Congestion pricing is here, ladies and gentlemen. $9 if you have Easy Pass. Much, much more if you don't. You'll have to pay that right out of pocket. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, says that she's saving New Yorkers money by having this congestion pricing inside Lower Manhattan, south of 60th Street. And this money is supposed to help with, I forget what did she say it was supposed to help with? I mean, some of this seems ridiculous, what the pricing is supposed to pay for. I had it in front of me a minute ago. I apologize. But it's designed to fund MTA, that's right, MTA improvements, right, for the subway. Now, that's interesting. So in order to pay for improving the subway, they're going to charge you for driving in. I don't know how people are going to handle it. I'm going to say this before I go to the phones. Mike Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, was brilliant. Is absolutely brilliant for doing this. In 2004, I want to say. I'm certain it was. In 2004, he had begun the no smoking inside bill. Like you couldn't smoke anywhere. He's one of the first cities to do it. I'm not sure if any other place had actually started it yet. But what Bloomberg did that was so brilliant was that he began the practice of no more smoking inside bars and restaurants in May of 2004. Maybe it was 2003, but I'm certain it was 2004. Because that was the same year we had the huge blackout. I was living on 90th Street between 2nd and 3rd on the Upper East Side. And, of course, it's warm outside. It's May. So people smoking outside, they'd become used to it by the time the cold weather hits, which is like mid to late November. By then, you had to get used to it. By then, it's like, it's commonplace. You're stuck there. He also did that whole thing where he stopped driving in certain parts of Manhattan. You may have seen Times Square and the way in which it's been transformed. There's not a lot of traffic going in and out of the Times Square area, and that's roughly about 40th Street to about 57th Street, which is the Times Square area. There's not a lot of traffic running in and out. He made it very pedestrian. He also made it weird in that region. You couldn't even smoke outside in Times Square. Smoking, I'm serious, no smoking outside in the Times Square area. Lori says that Bloomberg raised the tolls into the city from New Jersey bridges. Also true. Richard says it's helping fund Kathy Hochul's re-election campaign. That might be true. That might. I'm kidding. Jeff has been holding on for a while. Let's get to Jeff in Marlboro. How you doing, sir?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so I was going to say you were talking to your guest earlier about
Chris Powell.
I got a couple things. I got a couple things to say, so I'll be fast. Your guest earlier, what was his name?
Chris Powell.
Yeah, Mr. Powell. About the Democratic Party maybe changing its colors, but we've even seen with indoctrinated and they love to call Trump a Nazi.
Yeah.
Now I'm not calling Democrats Nazis, but I'm calling them indoctrinated.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
We've seen this with even the Nazis. Like you catch a Nazi in the 70s or 80s, 80, 90 years old, and they still got the flags. They still got the, all their guns. They got the everything.
All the paraphernalia.
All the paraphernalia. This stuff is ingrained in them. They're not going to drop it. They're just not going to drop it.
I know I don't understand how Chris Murphy thinks that one election is going to make them turn over a new leaf. That they're just going to flip off the switch and say, "No, we're the party of everybody now."
No, you've been brought up that like with the Nazi youth or something. And again, I'm not calling Democrats Nazis.
I get what you're saying. In essence, you're saying goose stepping is part of the norm.
But yeah, when you get indoctrinated and you believe that, it's sort of like a cult. You know, it's like it's stuck in your brain. You're just not going to drop it.
Right.
Okay.
Lest you be compared to your opponent.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I made that claim right here, and I said, "What's after the election?" I said, "What are the Democrats going to do? Become Republican now in order to win elections? They'll never do it."
Well, and they're talking like that out in the open air, but behind closed doors, I'm sure it's a different story.
Agreed.
But the other thing is, Mark Christopher, I love hearing his traffic reports. If I'm out on the highway, which I don't that often, but I listen. I'm 46 years old. I'm not a tech guy. I don't do any of that app BS. I'd rather listen to him.
That's right. Show some love for Mark Christopher. See, Mark, they love you, buddy. And you know what? The app can't tell you about traffic that you might be approaching, just the traffic that you're in.
Well, where do you think they get their information from? It's probably they plug those robots into like the WTIC.
It's a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah, they plug it into the app or the website, and then that's where they get it from.
Yeah,
so,
good point. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, sir. Let me get to Joe is in New Hampshire. He's been holding for a bit. How you doing, big guy?
Hey, Reese.
What do you got for me?
How did you like the Montauk Chronicles? Have you?
I did,
that?
and I'm working on next week's Whack Job Wednesday to talk about it.
Beautiful. You need to get down there with a few people to, start an investigation of some kind. Something happened.
Oh no, I've already got an investigation going in, which I'm going to talk about in the next half hour.
Beautiful. Say, last night I got through the Billy Cunningham show, which I get through once in a while.
Billy's funny. I love Bill. He's funny.
Yeah, he had a couple of brothers as guests, they're attorneys, and they had, they did it a little differently last night. And I almost didn't get through, but I was their last call, and they made a big deal about this teacher in Connecticut, with the threats and all of that.
Yeah.
And they were saying how I hope after doing all that, she never has, teaches again. So I got through, and I said, well, I got some news for you. She did the same thing back in 2016 when Trump got elected the first time, and it might have even been worse. And they could not believe it. I said, what happened? She didn't get fired. I said, well, just paid leave. I said, everybody gets on paid leave. Punishment. You get paid. You're off for a month or two, and you're paid the whole time you're off.
But Joe, after this, listen, the reason why 2016 happened, and the reason why everybody's surprised that it happened in 2016 is because in 2016 it did not get national attention. Now, the fact that this time around got national attention, and then everybody found out about 2016, through that, I think that what we've learned here is that there's no way that Annie Dunleavy, who is now infamous, is ever going to pull a stunt like that again. And others who are like her are saying to themselves, I don't want to jeopardize my career. And again, sometimes, and I've always believed this, sometimes you have to make an example out of people in order for others to self-correct. And I know they may be angry about her losing her job or having to resign, but they all are, they're cautioning themselves and saying, I don't want to be caught up in that sort of situation in my career. I got mouths to feed.
And I said, Willie, before I say goodbye, I said, you hear about the Bridgeport scandal in Bridgeport, Connecticut, with the ballot box stuffing, with the mayor's, administrative aide helping them win the rundown? Said, yeah, I heard about that. How did that turn out? And she's gone, or isn't she gone? I said, well, she got promoted. She went over to New Haven, Connecticut. Now she's working in the mayor's office, giving out licenses to illegal aliens to get married. Oh, man, I'm telling you, the Willie Cunningham show ended last night with a lot of upset people.
Well, he can't listen. He tries to cover everything, but I'm sure that's, hey, you know what? It's good that you at least gave him a heads up on those. Joe, I got to go. Let me move on real quick. I appreciate you, buddy. Let's go to Chris in West Hartford. How we doing, Chris?
Hi, Reese.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, good. How you doing?
I'm all right. What do you got for me?
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to say, in line with a previous caller, that it's because of Mark Christopher that I listen to the morning show. I mean, the guy is super.
He is funny.
I can visualize the traffic the way he lays it out.
Look at that.
And I'm never late for work because if I hear of an accident, I just go my alternate route and everything's cool. So he's great. So that's between him, he's the main reason I listen, and then weather and sports. Those are the other two things. But he's excellent. He's really good.
So no compliments to your humble host right here. Just it's all about Mark Christopher now. It's okay. I won't take any offense. It's okay. I think it's okay to, of course, defend Mark Christopher.
Morning show.
I know. I'm teasing. I totally heard you.
The morning show.
I heard you mention a morning show. I was just taking a jab. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding around.
No. I also wanted to say in the afternoon, Reese, you are tremendous. I mean, you do good research. You're great.
Thank you, sir.
So I do like listening to you. And in the afternoon, I'm not in a rush, so I can relax and listen more to the radio than the traffic. But
that I appreciate. Well, I hope, like I said, I hope we're as informative as we are entertaining. That's kind of my goal here. So I really appreciate that.
Great.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated, Chris in West Hartford. So yeah, again, my whole New York thing, because I did drive in New York. We had a little Sentra. Was it a Sentra? Is that what the Nissan is called? Is it the Nissan Sentra? Roland, you know these cars better than I do. Is that what it is? Maybe you must be somewhere else. Anyway, you must be doing.
What happened?
Is the Nissan Sentra? Is that what that is? Is a Sentra? Is that the small little Nissan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nissan Sentra. I had one of those in early 2000. It is a terrible car. It's a small little. It's like a smart car that's supposed to be a small sedan. I had one of those, and I drove it around a lot, and I beat that car up. And here's the worst part. Talk about driving in Manhattan. I had road rage you couldn't believe driving in Manhattan. But I did. I don't believe that New Yorkers are the worst drivers ever. I've been to certain places. Virginia has the worst drivers ever. If it rains or snows, people in Virginia will look up at the sky like they've never seen precipitation before. That's how bad they are. But in New York, I always had like this sort of rage. Now, let me tell you something that I've never said out loud about this Nissan Sentra. We rented the car. And we had to have it, and we rented it for about 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was cheaper than owning a car. So we rented it for about 6 months. We treated this car so poorly, and dealing in New York with everything under the sun, before we returned it to Hertz Rent-A-Car, okay? And I can say Hertz Rent-A-Car because they're about to be out of business. We returned it to Hertz Rent-A-Car. I had to have the car repainted because of all the scuffs and scrapes we put on. We got a local friend in the neighborhood who did it on the cheap. Here's the thing. He did it on the street. He sanded down all the blemishes and repainted the car. We found the color because it was like a what do you call it? Like a split pea green car. We found the color and got the color and repainted the whole car and returned it. And no one even noticed it. We just repainted it and returned it. But we beat that car up. We beat it up. And it's only because it was in New York, it was impossible to drive there. So I don't understand how anyone would drive into New York. I've driven in Connecticut. I've driven in Virginia. I've driven through D.C. I've driven through Detroit and Chicago. And I've got to tell you that if you are driving in the middle of the city, you have got to be kidding yourself.
We used to do that a lot, though, when I was...
Driving in the city?
Yeah, when I was doing music, we used to be in the city in Manhattan all the time.
Well, you had to have a car because you're doing music and you're carrying equipment.
Yeah.
But casually driving through the city, I wouldn't do it. Those roads are the worst. And now you got to pay $9 to drive through a pothole-filled city where there's construction everywhere. You're actually paying to drive through the gauntlet.
And it's still not getting fixed.
Exactly. It's improving under the road. That's what all the money's going to. Not improving the roads. It's improving under the roads. Speaking of the roads, let's get back into the lauded and well-celebrated Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Can I take a bow now?
Of course.
Just wish this Tux had a little more room where I could take a bow. Thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. And this traffic report being brought to you by the Toyota Chris Paul HBCU Classic. And if you're making your way into downtown Hartford right now, not too bad overall. Southbound 91 slows 33 to 32. Another bump down by exit 19 down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91, no issues. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound's tight, approaching 46 into the tunnel. A little slow traffic again, 61 to 62 out in Manchester. 291, 384 looks good. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 westbound in Cheshire, you're slowing, approaching the 691 interchange. Once you get around that, you get a good ride into Waterbury. 84 eastbound, a little slow in Danbury, 3 to 5. Southbound Parkway, a little tight, getting by 60 in Hamden. South 95 New Haven, slowing from exit 48 down to 44 in New Haven. Get your ticket today to the Toyota Chris Paul HBCU Classic, happening on December 19th and 20th at the Mohegan Sun Arena. Catch top HBCU teams in action and experience the excitement live. For more information, visit chrispaulclassic.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear, breezy, and cold tonight, the low 35. Mostly sunny, windy on our Saturday. Now, the gusty winds, low humidity, and dry brush will result in a high fire threat throughout the weekend. The high of 61. The northwest winds at 15 to 25 miles an hour Saturday. Sunday, sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy, mild, the high of 63, but it's going to feel like it's in the 50s with that busy north-northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mild Monday, more clouds than sun, breezy again in the afternoon, the high of 63. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
WTIC News Time, 5:30. Sexual wrongdoing allegations pile up against Matt Gaetz, President-elect Trump's pick to be Attorney General. CBS's Major Garrett spoke with the attorney for a woman who testified before the House Ethics Committee.
She arrived at the party. She had sex with Representative Gaetz within minutes of her arrival. Later on, when she was walking out to the pool area, she observed to her right Representative Gaetz having sex with her friend who was 17 at the time.
And on this question, she's absolutely sure.
She's absolutely certain that she observed, seeing her friend and Representative Gaetz having sex against what she described as a game table of some sort.
Trump's pick for Director of National Intelligence is Tulsi Gabbard. NYU's Ruth Ben-Ghiat tells the New York Times that the choice of Gabbard sends a clear message to Russia that America will become a Kremlin ally under Trump. Connecticut state troopers in Windham could not believe their eyes or ears. When they were on Route 32, they spotted an allegedly intoxicated man dressed in all black walking across the highway. They arrested the man, identified as Max Gallup, after they say he approached the troopers and threatened to blow their heads off. You might want to bone up on how to say happy holidays in other languages. Getting there is getting cheaper, says CBS travel editor Peter Greenberg.
If you look at the AAA stats, about 80 million Americans traveling one way or the other during the holiday. That's not surprising. But what is surprising is how they're traveling and where they're going. Because the best bargains are not necessarily in the U.S., they're overseas.
WTIC News Time is 5:31 now. And in sports, Monday Night Football is going to be an all-Texas affair with Houston visiting Dallas. In basketball, it's the Wizards visiting the Knicks tonight, and the Celtics are off. While in hockey, it's the Bruins hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm David Shapiro, WTIC 1080 News.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with more. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1 ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a 50. value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
It's the 5 o'clock focus. It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. We're back with the 5 o'clock focus right here on News Talk 1080 WTIC. We got plenty of stuff inside the chat room. Let me read this. Zappa Creek says, can't smoke cigarettes in Times Square, but weed everywhere. And Peter, the station runs on traffic. We love the shark. I love that. The new New York City toll is going to the Mayor's Sanctuary City Fund to help pay for illegal immigrants, Zappa Creek says as well. There's some other ones in here. John Beckman says that he used to drive a limo back in the 80s. Now, I used to work for a limo company back in the early 90s. That was my first job in Manhattan. I worked for a company called Tel Aviv Car and Limo. I think they're still around on St. Mark's and First Avenue. Well, 8th Street and First Avenue. I think they're still there. I'm almost certain. Sharon says, I wish New Yorkers would call into your show and tell you how they feel about those $9 fees. As do I, Sharon. Driving through New York City is why I bought a cop car, Zach says. Wow. Zach also says, pre-COVID, I used to drive my F-150 with a ladder rack into the city and park in the maintenance section behind any building. Never got a ticket. I could also find spots within 5 minutes walk of Times Square. Yeah, you know what? They don't touch you. If they think you're a work truck, they are pretty lenient. I remember I got a ticket with that Sentra. Do you know how much that ticket was? It was $150 for letting the meter run out. And you know who that was under? Mayor Mike Bloomberg. Oh man, I'll never forget that. I was so angry. I couldn't wait to turn that car. Couldn't wait. The meter goes off. You miss the meter 5 minutes. There's someone waiting there. One of these, brownies, as we used to call them, because back in the days they used to have brown outfits. That's what we used to call them, the brownies. They all made them blue so they could all look like law enforcement. But they would stand there and they would wait for your car to just go. They would hear it just go click. And once that meter was expired, they were there writing that ticket. You had to be there before. I don't even know how they got there. They used to do another thing in the city, used to drive me nuts, where they would mark your tire with chalk. They would mark your tire, and then they would come back an hour later to see if you moved. And if that chalk was still there, then they would time you for like 10 minutes. You were only allowed to be there 10 minutes. And if that mark never moved on the tire, they knew you didn't move it, and they would give you a ticket. I'm not going to lie, that was actually pretty industrious of these guys. That was pretty smart. I've never been caught out there by that little tactic, but they've been inventive over the years. $9. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we have a vehicle fire 91 southbound in Enfield. Looks like it's just after exit 46 Queen Street, so you've got delays back to exit 47W behind that. And right now, look for those delays as you move Enfield heading down in toward East Windsor on the southbound side of 91. Now, if you are moving into Hartford, southbound 91's a little slow, 33 down to 32 A and B. After that, just a little slowdown by 19 in Meriden. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulky Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, you're running slow, half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. A little slow again between 61 and 62 for Buckland Street in Manchester. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro, Middletown. 9 southbound a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge. Heading 84 westbound, you've got delays between exit 30 and Southington up to just west of the 691 interchange on westbound 84. If you are traveling into New Haven right now, southbound Parkway a little slow, 60 into the West Rock. 95 south in New Haven, you're going to see delays from exit 48 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mainly clear and quite cool tonight with the low down to 40. A mostly sunny, breezy day Tuesday. The high 61 will feel like 50s at best with the northwest winds cranking up to 10 to 20 miles an hour.
I'm going to do the
Winds
Tyson
subside
fight when we
briefly
get
Sunday,
back.
sunshine, a few clouds, a little cooler, the high 56. Cloudy, increasingly windy.
What happened?
I'm going to talk about the
Thursday,
Tyson
with
fight when we
periods
get
of
back.
Oh,
So
okay.
please
for a
join in if you
raw
want.
and chilly feeling day.
Trash.
7 northeast winds cranking back up to 12 to 25. The winds do subside some Friday, mostly cloudy, though chilly, the high of 46. Cloudy on Saturday, the high of 49. Waterbury at 52, 57 in Granby. It is also 57 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys, Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at CordellCordell.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out.
Oh, minute.
Stress from shopping. I couldn't find anything. Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. Almost out of here. Stand by, Dave and Branford. We'll be back with you in a second. I promise you'll be my last but not least. But before we get there, I've got to talk about the Mike Tyson fight against... What? What happened?
It's just a hilarious topic.
We got to talk about the Mike Tyson fight. And everyone's still calling it the Mike Tyson fight, even though, what's his name? Jake Paul? Luke Paul? What's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. I don't care. I've never cared. It's too silly for me to even care about it. But I watched it because, you know, again, it's spectacle. So you kind of have to. It's like one of those things where, you know, where will you win? So I wanted to see it with all of the pre-fight nonsense I've seen over the last year. I thought it was at least going to be entertaining. And they even said it on this show. I can't remember exactly who it was, but somebody said that they expected Mike Tyson to win that fight in the first round. I refused to even make a prediction about it because I said, I don't even know what this thing is about. Is this real boxing? Is this fake boxing? Is this spectacle boxing?
It was about money.
Yes, exactly. It was about money. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But let me say this, if I may. All right. For those of us in this, when it comes to boxing who are purists, we have got to come to grips that boxing is dead. It's dead and stinking. Okay. It's like several years dead. It is a rotten corpse. And it's never coming back. UFC is the new way to go. And I know that you may be, I'm one of those guys who can't do it. I can't find enough like muster to get into UFC. It's too far gone for me to catch up, so I don't watch it. But boxing is dead. We're just gonna have to watch old videos of, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali. We're just going to have to watch old tapes and say, remember when. Because boxing is dead. Why? Because of this nonsense, this spectacle. To suggest that, what's his name again? Luke Paul? Jerry Paul?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, whatever. This kid is single-handedly saving boxing after that nonsense, okay, means that it is dead. We are trying to resuscitate a corpse. We just won't come to terms that it's over and it's dead with. I felt awful watching Mike Tyson. I posted on Facebook to many people's chagrin, okay, it is official. We can all beat Mike Tyson, okay? We can all beat him.
That's incorrect.
No, I could beat him. I can beat him. I don't care what anybody says. I could beat him. Right? Listen, did you watch that fight? Right? During that fight, Mike Tyson could have been beaten by an uneven sidewalk. That whole thing was a joke. All right? It was a complete and utter joke.
Why would you beat the man that's paying you $20 million?
You beat him because you're Mike Tyson. And look, I know he's 58.
He set the precedent with the interview with the little girl beforehand.
What?
Like the 2 days before, when he told her, when she asked him about legacy.
Yeah.
And he said, that's all ego. That's all in men's head. Men's made that a big thing. Legacy doesn't mean anything because once you're dead, then you're dead. You don't have no legacy. It's nothing.
Okay,
and
first of all, that's blasphemy.
Yeah. I'm just saying what he said to the poor little girl that was just trying to have a
yeah,
conversation.
I know, but I don't care. The little girl, listen, you can say that to a little girl and she'll believe that nonsense, which means that she should not achieve anything because it means nothing. You know, first of all, we all believe in a little bit of legacy. Zapper Creek says, wasn't Tyson fight called a senior abuse? Yes, it was. It was elder abuse.
He wasn't saying that because he actually believed it.
Oh.
He was saying that because he knew he was taking a dive the next.
Oh, you think? Okay, all right.
For the fight, so he didn't want people to be like, "Oh, his legacy is this," because he already said, "Oh, my legacy doesn't mean nothing."
Okay, well, listen.
So I'm gonna take this dive for this $20 million.
Yeah, you get the $20 million. I get that, but Don, listen, Mike Tyson. I was gaining some affinity towards him. I was starting to say to myself, "Oh, I like Mike Tyson. I love this new venture that he has, and he's talking to people and." I felt like he'd grown and he had evolved in so many ways from when I grew up. I was feeling good from him, and he seemed like an old sage. But then he just looked like an old sag in the ring. It just looked awful.
Yeah, but I will say this: if you're talking about going rounds and rounds,
yeah,
yes, he is not the guy.
No,
he's an old sag man.
Yeah,
but if he wanted to, when that fight first started in the first round, he could have came out and destroyed Jake Paul if someone else was giving him $20 million to do it. He would have came out and destroyed him. But because he didn't get him in the first round, now it's multiple rounds. Now you can see he doesn't have that type of stamina.
Yeah. Commentary out in Texas. He says, who won that fight? I'm still waiting for the buffering to finish.
Netflix wasn't ready for
Netflix was not ready. Listen, no. I even said this on my Sunday show, that Netflix went out and started bragging about the millions of people who witnessed it. Don't brag about disappointing 120 million people. You can't brag about that. That's not a flex, as the kids say. That's not even a flex.
Netflix won, Jake Paul won, and Mike Tyson won.
Yeah, they all won. We lost.
We lost.
We lost. I saw this great meme today that had two little kitties. They were just patting each other on the head. Meow, meow. Somebody said, "Hey, look, somebody's rebroadcasting the Jake Paul fight." I was like, it's great. I loved every bit of it. This thing, my wife and I were watching this thing with such a cringe. It's such a cringe. But you know what? If you thought that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's fight was a disaster, can I tell you which was a bigger disaster than all of it? Having to endure Rosie Perez's commentary during the fight was far worse than anything I've witnessed ever.
Oh, man.
Ever. And it was just so bad to watch. I mean, it was just to listen to her voice and to show. I mean, go on The View if you want to sound uneducated about things that matter. But the being boxing, it was almost like your girlfriend in your ear screaming, going, I think Mike Tyson is looking kind of sluggish. I did not need to hear her voice. It was annoying. Not that women can't be in boxing, just not Rosie Perez, okay? Anyone other than her.
A lot of people complained about her.
Yeah, no kidding. I heard that people were saying, it's like, what is she doing there? When you make Roy Jones Jr. seem intelligent, you're losing. You're losing. You're just losing. You're just losing. And again, and I say that because Roy Jones Jr., if you're listening, I don't mind taking a hit for that. You did sound intelligent next to Rosie. You just did. You just did. If you ever felt like swinging, I'd take it.
She was Mike Tyson's real close friend. So
yes, that much I do know. But she was just as afraid as anyone else was. It just looked weird. And why he was biting the thumb of his gloves was another thing I couldn't understand.
They're saying that that he was doing that because so Jake Paul will know he's tired. He don't throw anything crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a signal.
Huh. That's interesting. I heard that somebody just said, John Beckman says that Christmas Day on Netflix is having a buffering bowl because they're going to have football on there. Good luck, folks. Good luck for all you betting fans out there. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. But so did you bet on it by any chance? Did you put any money on this fight?
Absolutely not.
You didn't. You didn't want to touch this.
No, it wasn't. I already knew what it was. It wasn't going to be a fight. So.
Okay,
why would I put money?
I don't know. It's a boxing match. That a lot of
you would have to parlay that. You can't just put it by itself unless you're putting up big money like Drake, who lost $300,000 because he put that on Mike Tyson. So
did he? Damn, $300,000
just to make. And if Mike Tyson did one, he was going to make 500 and some thousand. So it wasn't. I mean, when you got money like that, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Zappa Creek says, I'll let Tyson beat the crap out of me for $3 million. It's not a beating. At Tyson's age, it's not a beating. If anything, it's like a mild roughing up.
No, if Mike Tyson hit a regular person
at 58, you really think he still got it?
It's over with.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying. I'm telling you, this guy, seriously, I'm seeing. Look, I think a slippery ramp wins by decision against Mike Tyson.
Look at isn't Sylvester Stallone like 75?
74, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, if he hits you, a regular person, they're out of there too.
No, well, first of all, let's look at Sylvester Stallone. Have you watched him in Tulsa?
Yeah.
Oh, he looked that.
He started the show knocking people out.
He looked diesel. I'm not gonna lie. I've got to. That's my goal. I need those kinds of like reps for like I need to be a 74-year-old.
Man, that takes a lifetime.
It does.
He's been doing it a lifetime.
That's true. That's true. He looks fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Nobody believes he's 74. My wife, when she said, "How old is he?" I was like, "I think he's 70 something." Sure enough, 74. Woo.
Yep.
Yeah. Michael B says a ramp with oil. He definitely wins. He gets a decision on that one. Let's get to our last but not least. Dave is in Brantford. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, how you doing, Reese? I think the part you left out is the good part. This is an aside, not why I called that 135-pound girl fight with Tyler and Serrano.
Yes.
That was terrific. That was the most exciting boxing I've seen in probably 20 years, equal to a Hearns-Hagler fight.
Didn't you hear? I just heard that both of those girls are going to be suspended. I don't even know what for. I just saw the headline.
The Irish girl headbutted Serrano 4 times.
Yeah, you saw the gash on her eye?
I did not like that. I like the continuous punching action. That was a
that was great
fight. I called the grumble about the Tong and Bysowitz and Lamont gave that little news conference. They're going to fight back for Connecticut values against Trump.
Yes.
And some of it is the transgender thing because they want Connecticut to be a destination location
Indeed.
for abortions and gender transformations.
Mhm.
Well, my suggestion is Trump, just like the PSAs, the public service announcements for anti-drugs with the frying eggs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The anti-smoking ads with the mechanical voice.
Yeah.
We should have anti-transgender ads with pictures of botched surgery of young girls who've endured top surgery so they can be flat and smooth.
Exactly.
And maybe young men who've endured bottom surgery so they can be flat and smooth and say, this is, your body before. This is what happens after.
You are
and
so
there's not
right.
A darn thing Tawn couldn't do a darn thing about it, and it achieves the goal to stop this fad transgender transformation thing that we seem to be having way too much of.
Dave, let me give you credence. Let me give what you just said credence, because if you read the New York Times, one of the campaign ads that carried the most weight was the they them Donald Trump's For You ad.
Yeah, I saw that on a football game. That was a terrific ad.
It was
absolutely terrific.
It was, in fact, Kamala Harris admitted, even though she was complaining about it on the campaign trail, talking about the amount of money he was spending on it, after she lost, she said that was the most damaging ad they had to contend with. You're right. They need to get a PSA on the Connecticut airwaves, make sure that they're running, saying that this is what Connecticut is promoting, and push those ads right here in the state of Connecticut, and it'll be something that Lamont has to contend with.
And I haven't seen any proof yet that apparently state money is going into advertising in the red states with the most restrictive abortion laws.
Indeed.
Come to Connecticut, enjoy your vacation, get rid of that kid. And I think that if we actually are, that's hideous. And I do believe we are through the Planned Parenthood, those NGO things.
Listen,
they get funded, and that's how.
That article in the Current today talking about how calls have increased on people who want to get gender-affirming care. And, of course, as you just stated, Lamont has made that a campaign promise ever since his reelection, that let this be the destination place for your abortion. Yeah, there should be pushback in ads to get that out.
I'm done.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Dave, our last but not least. Again, tomorrow, I can't pronounce this guy's last name. From the newspaper The Day. I'm going to learn how to pronounce his name, but I think his name is Chouar or Tronoir. I'm pronouncing it poorly. It sounds French, but he's going to be on the show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I promise I'll know how to say his name before he's on the air. He wrote an article this week talking about why the Biden administration lost, and indeed Donald Trump did not win the election because the Republicans are the party of the people. So we'll talk to him about that. And I just got Chris Powell. Thank you, Chris, for sending it to me. Chris Powell just sent his article pushing back on that article. So I'll read that and ask him about that tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that. As I always say, radio is free. So we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. He is again the lauded, loved, and revered Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. They came out for you. They came out for you today, Mark.
Really? I'm
yeah,
glad to hear
man.
that. I'm glad to hear that. Well, Reese, thank you very much. Have a great night. If you're heading into Hartford right now, we are dealing with a problem in Enfield. It's 91.
All right.
All right, sir. Oh, you got my promo already. When you off on Friday?
Yeah, I'm off on Friday.
Okay.
Are back to
all right.
47.
I guess that's it. All right. Well, you got my promo, so that's, you don't need that anymore. And I didn't send you those
no issues Cromwell through
those
Windsor.
Those script checks. So I'll work on that today.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
No problem. See you tomorrow.
You got it.
384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay in the Glastonbury. 9 southbound slowing as you approach the area.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your contributions to the show. As always, it is always great to be here. Gosh, there's a lot of you today. All right, God bless you. And we appreciate you. God, you guys, if it wasn't for you, I couldn't have. It's like, this isn't work.